Hey everyone, it's Nasuth. Before we begin this episode, I'd just like to personally apologize for the technical issues you'll see in the background images as they struggle to load, but I think you'll still enjoy hearing our reactions to this season's shows, and I promise we're working on tracking down this continuing issue. Thank you. Now let's start the show.
Kanpai!
Drink.
I'm working on it.
Cool. So
These scarf arms don't work very well.
Welcome, weebs, to this week's episode of Kanpai Cast, episode 49, the 3-episode rule for summer 2022. What?
It gave me another one. Go away. Go away.
Stop. You're such an alcoholic. Anyway, so again, welcome, weebs. Right, so we're gonna get straight into the housekeeping for this week. And Nasuth obscures it. Just to remind everyone, we have timestamps and chapters allowing people to navigate to the sections of the show that they're interested in watching, which for this week is all the different stuff that's currently airing in summer 2023. LWBY
2022
is 2022 time travel.
I did that I said 2021 earlier. Now you said 2023. What year is it?
Now
2020.
That makes sense.
Forever 2020. Anyway, so moving on to the next point, we have some good news about the reception of the game show Kanpai Cast. Within the numbers of views within the first 24 hours, there's too many withins within that. Who wrote that? Blowing YouTube's expectations out of the water by 100%, and outperforming the last few episodes by 3 times the number of views.
I'm not surprised. It was really fun.
Yeah,
it was fun. Yeah,
it was good fun. And then lastly, we'd like to ask everyone to leave a like and a comment on the video. Even though we've barely started, every little helps with the YouTube algorithm.
So true. Yeah.
So I'm going to hand over to Nasuth for the news.
Right. So Toei announced on Goku Day, which is May 9th apparently, that a new season of Dragon Ball Super will be coming December of this year, which will likely cover the quote-unquote Galactic Patrol saga. The same source that leaked this info also, so this source also leaked the latest movie before it happened, before it was announced, so a relatively reliable source. But they've also said that there's going to be yet another movie coming possibly next year, possibly the year after, we'll see. Come out with a current movie, this might mean a great year for Dragon Ball fans, and there are also a couple of trailers for the new season on YouTube. If you go look for Dragon Ball Super Season 2, I think they're calling it.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty interesting. Crunchyroll has lowered its prices and expanded its catalog in nearly 100 countries and territories. To check out the full list, you can look in the link in the description in the news section that we have. But here's the highlight. United Kingdom prices for Mega Fan have dropped from $7.99 to $5.99 Great British Pounds. And notably, the United States is not on the list. Neither is Canada.
I'm going to say, I'm actually quite tempted by that now. Like, it's...
£6 is enough for you?
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but it's substantially less now than the likes of Netflix and stuff. And
fair, yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah,
speaking
£6 is actually...
Speaking of Netflix, we've got some of them later, but yeah, that's,
okay.
Almost immediately, that's crazy that almost immediately after their price hike, well, I should say they're going subscription only, they've decided to just drop some of the prices.
Yeah.
Right, so this one's just kind of a little silly side note. Final Fantasy X is being turned into a kabuki stage play set to run starting next spring. Kabuki actor Onoe Kiko Nosuke, the 5th, I think? Maybe just V, but who planned and acted in a kabuki adaptation of Nausicaa, is also the creative force behind this endeavor, so he's apparently got a pretty good track record. We'll never see it over here. It's only going to be... Yeah, that's the one with Titus and Yuna and the Sin and all that stuff.
Or
I only really played
Lulu, Riku...
Yep. The Albeds, Waka, racist Waka.
Yes.
I have no idea what that means.
The Game Grumps did a great video where the entire way. I mean, Waka is pretty racist against the Albeds already, but they just expanded on that. It's hilarious.
Can we put a link in the description? Because I have no idea what the hell
I was going to say,
about.
and to be honest, I'm tempted to push now. Can we watch it together? Because I know how much you love watching.
Yeah. Link
Do you want to watch it? Yeah, okay, fine. Let's put this on pause. And
No,
you
not
just
now.
said now.
No, I said let's watch it together. I didn't say let's watch it together now.
You said now.
I'd like to now get it into the.
Oh, I understand the context now. Fine. Yes, we'll put it in the link in the description below, though.
Yes. And finally, Netflix is producing 2 seasons of the Keanu Reeves comic book Berserker with production IG. No word on if these will be real full seasons or quote-unquote Netflix seasons. But we do know that Reeves will be the voice of B, which is the main character. It also seems from this article that there might be a movie that tells the story so far before the series spins off to explore other parts of the world.
Has there been anything good from Netflix when it comes to
adaptations?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I guess Arcane.
Castlevania.
Castlevania.
Well, Arcane, okay, I'll give you. Oh, they're both video game ones, so they can do video game ones well.
Spriggan was quite good.
Spriggan was actually quite good. Yeah. And it's less. I think it's less that Netflix is doing it, and more that Production IG is doing it with Netflix's money.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it does really depend on like how many episodes they're getting. I think the upcoming Cyberpunk Edge Run is getting like 10 episodes. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
But I was quite sad that Spriggan only got 6 episodes.
Oh, the Ultraman was good, except for season 2. They only gave it 6 episodes.
Yeah, but that's because I really feel that the Ultraman one, they were just like, yeah, we're gonna have to slash the budget because money.
Yeah. But the season 1 was a really good adaptation. Really good. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we done with the news?
I think that's it for the news.
Cool. Right. So we're gonna move on to this season for the Animus. And I'm going to hit that button, so it actually shows from this season. Going back to the rating system, we have must watch, acquired taste, nothing special, and a pass. As usual, we will give our feelings, like our rating, before we get into our feelings. And just going to give some honorable mentions right now to Is It Wrong to Try and Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? And the maid I hired recently is Mysterious.
I'd also like to add, I forgot about it, but I'd also like to add KJ File to that after you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the main reason why we're giving those 2 honorable mentions...
I'll literally, you're going to say, you don't want to mention, you can still just say something about it. So the first episode's out for you. Is it good for Dungeon?
It's only the first episode.
Yeah.
I can't judge it on the first episode. The first
it's
episode is always,
4.
I'm putting my clothes on!
I mean,
every season.
I think I'd be completely wrong, because if I only watched the first episode of Overlord this season, I would be giving it below pass. The first episode is so bad.
Yeah, but like
the maid I heard recently is Mysterious. I don't quite get what the show's going to be, because I've watched one episode, I'm like, okay. So yeah, the maid turns up and is like, aha, what are you doing, maid? And keeps thinking things. The maid's just like, I'm just making food for you at the evening. It's like, you're making a spell or something. So I don't know if there is actually going to be some mysterious reason behind the maid, but how this is going to be 12 episodes, I'm going to have to see. But I thought it was really nice animated and quite just nice and small and simple. So yeah.
I have faith that Is It Wrong to Try and Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon is going to do well, but
it has a good track record.
Too little. Yeah, there's too little in the first episode to really give it a good job.
There's other things you could say. Is it still the same animation team? Is it still?
I don't know if it's the same team, but it's definitely the same quality. It's very high quality. They did quite a lot in the first episod, but still, it was just putting on their pants.
Yeah, of course. But like, for instance, if that show was the 4th season of High School DxD, you'd probably have to say, honorable mention, the animations being a bit weird and janky. And
yeah. Actually, one point I will give. They actually have returning characters from the first season.
Oh,
wow!
That's one point I will give. Right. So, and then Nasuth has an honorable mention for KJ File.
Yeah, unfortunately, there were only 2 episodes out, and it's also they're very, very short episodes. It's like literally just like 4 or 5 minutes.
4 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. And the 2 I saw didn't have translations, like so no subtitles. So I can't really give an opinion on them. They do look good though, and it seems like it does seem like it's more geared towards kids. Like, hey kids, look at these cool kaiju. Yeah, let's tell you some scary stories.
The monsters.
Cool. Right.
There we go.
Now, because we've got different numbers of shows that we've all watched in this season, and Nasuth,
I think this is the least number of shows I've ever watched.
Yeah, it really is, and to the point of like, so I'm gonna have to start, and then I'll have to end as well. So the first one I'm gonna go with is Call of the Night. So Nasuth starts the timer.
I do start the timer. There is a timer this week.
You do start the timer.
Is the background going to change?
It should do. Yeah, there it is. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna give this one
as it slowly loads in for some reason.
Slowly loads in.
Wow.
Every time.
I
don't. It was fine. Literally just seconds ago.
It's your goddamn VTuber shit. I swear. Anyway,
I don't know.
This is an acquired taste.
Wow.
Right. So this has very heavy slice of life elements to it. This was done by the same animation studio that did. Oh god, was it the Eda 10 Deities Know Only piece? From like I think it was like last year or the year before or something like that. And no, it had to be last year because we've only been running for like a year. And you could very much tell that their style of animation is involved in this, or at least you could if the images were loading.
Yeah.
The backgrounds are very nice and pretty, but they always off-center the shot, so the character is never in the center of the frame or anything like that, and it gets a little old, but the dynamic poses of all the characters and everything are pretty damn good and everything. So right, I'm gonna say we need to pause.
Buy Kanpai Cast now. Hello, reputable distributors. We are on cassette tapes, VHS, DVDs, Betamax, V-Ray, B-Ray, HDMI discs.
Right. Okay. So we're back. Someone did
for how long?
Naughty. Yeah. Right. So this series is very much a slice of life. It has the narrative is that this one kid is bored of school and he's He is suffering from insomnia and is trying to, do something interesting with his life. He ends up going outside in the middle of the night, and we get loads of lovely picturesque scenes. Nasuth, don't forget to restart.
He wants to do something interesting with his life, so he goes out in the middle of the night.
Yes.
He goes and touches grass in the middle of the night.
I need to go touch grass at night. Okay.
Yeah.
Touch grass at night. Yes. So he goes out in the middle of the night and he ends up coming across this random strange person who turns out to be, that's right, you guessed it, a vampire.
Werewolf. Oh.
No one's ever a werewolf.
Oh, I thought it was a prostitute.
I mean, given that get up, you wouldn't be too far off. But anyway, so she lures him home.
Just like the prostitute?
She drinks his blood.
Just like prostitute.
She drinks his beer.
And he discovers that, no, he's underage. He can't drink beer.
Well, what does that do?
And, no, she's...
that hurt.
Stop it.
And she stole the
beer. Stop it. Right. Anyway, so... and he discovers that she's a vampire. And he decides, from that brief moment, he wants to become a vampire himself. And in order to become a vampire... the person has to be in love with the vampire when the vampire feeds on them. It's such a weird rule that they've come up with. And that's pretty much where the slice of life element comes from. Right? So there he is. He's trying to, work
not
out
to be cross-eyed.
That's not him. That's one of his schoolmates.
Oh.
So he just has to fall in love with the vampire.
Yeah, but he doesn't know how to fall in love.
He's a teenage boy.
Yeah.
So doesn't he just ask the vampire to take her top off? I'm sure that would do it.
That's lust. That's not love.
You don't know that. Not for teenage boys.
You gotta have the oxytocin to make it love.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why it's so stupid, this sort of thing. It's like, okay, can I just inject
Also, can I just point out here, look at the background. She's not in the reflection.
Yeah, very nice
I
touch.
never actually noticed that. I never noticed that when I was recording it. There. Sorry, when I was watching it. So yeah, that's it. So Acquired Taste. I don't.
If you like vampires and you want to see some slice of life stuff with vampires,
I'm hoping it gets more interesting sometime soon.
Is it just him attempting to fall in love with a vampire? Surely
that is it. That is it. That is like that's the whole 3 episodes.
Does he just psych himself up in the mirror? I mean, what does he do? Is he like, I've got to make a love potion or what?
No, he's kind of emo. He's like, you get these really nice picturesque.
Does he just spend time with her? I mean, like, let's go to the aquarium. I mean,
no, the aquarium's closed. So they either wander around at night, finding these 3 drunken idiots that they find every single sodding time, or they just go back to her place and cuddle.
So there's no like exploring this whole new nightlife that he's never experienced before.
Nope.
Are there other vampires?
Not that we've seen so far.
There will be.
So 3 episodes. We've only had 3 characters. Right.
It took a while for all of Dragon Maid's friends to show up.
Anyway, we'll move on to...
The one thing I'm confused about is that he, in the space of one meeting with this person, is like, I want to become a vampire. He can make such a massive decision, life-changing decision in one go, but he can't fall in love with probably an anime girl in 2 seconds. I'm really confused by this. It's like, I know I love her, but how do I know that I love her? Let's try now. It's like every 3 seconds, like, okay, let's try this. Okay,
is it working yet? Is it working yet?
Is it working yet? You see what I mean?
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to Loz's first one.
Right.
So which one are you going to have, Loz?
What I got? Let's start with Black Summoner.
Okay. I've hit the button.
We'll see if it changes.
Will change. Right. So there you go. So what are you going to give Black Summoner, Loz?
There it goes. Now we get to load all these images.
With nothing special for now on this show.
Fair.
It's really interesting. So there's 3 Isekais this season, which probably will be my first 3, so I can do them in a go. And this one is like the bits of the other 2 combined, as if it sort of copied the homework of the other 2 and tried to combine them into one show. But I think, I don't know about Xeno because we watched it together. I felt it was getting better as it was going on. But the issues with this show. So what this show is we have a person. Oh God! Oh, see, it starts off badly. Oh God, I remember right back now. Oh God, the pain is coming back. Okay, right. This show starts off. We're going to isekai our protagonist. And he's mid being isekai'd, meeting the goddess, getting his skills done. And we just get one line from him before he gets isekai. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to be isekai'd, and the goddess is pretty, but I'm going to lose all my memories now. That's it, right? And then he wakes up in this new world, right? And he picked all of his talents and things we didn't see before he lost all his memories. So it's this weird setup at the start that he is and this is something that Xeno put forward. If the protagonist doesn't have their memories, is it still an isekai?
Yeah.
In this one, at least, though, everyone keeps reminding him that he's lost his memories and things, and they make so many... God, he's lost his memories, but he instantly starts... So when he wakes up, he starts looking at his skills and things.
Oh,
it's like, oh, yeah, I must have been a gamer in my previous life to have such excellent combination of skills. How do you know what a gamer is?
Yeah.
There was other points like that as well. It's like, but so it's almost like he's lost all the details of his memory, but not like the general knowledge of a person in our world.
It's one of those things where it's like, you still know how to talk, but you don't know, you don't remember learning your ABCs in school.
Exactly. He doesn't remember where he went to school. He doesn't remember where he grew up, that kind of stuff. But he doesn't remember this goddess. But anyway, so the goddess is actually his status page for now. But he's a summoner. He's this really cool summoner who can summon. It's really rare to be a summoner in this world. And not only is he a summoner, he is like the highest rank summoner because he's like a really good summoner. Then there's me and Xena, the first few episodes, we were just yelling at each other. Well, not yelling, but debating and discussion was this show. Because it's so confusing. It's got status pages that pop up, and it's trying to explain the world. And it has like, he goes to the Adventurers Guild and starts at the bottom, da-da-da-da-da. But it has lettering systems for like I'm going to the guild, I'm an F rank adventurer. But then you've also got like his class. He's like, I'm an S rank summoner, which makes him utterly OP. But then also like his individual abilities have letter rank. So it's just, instead of using numbers or like some of the other shows do, where it's like materials for like the guild ranks. you just forever getting letters thrown at you, and you're trying to remember. You got to remember what letters this, what letters this, because it also combines. So one of the skills, for instance, in this world is like an appraising eye, a magical eye that can assess what you're looking at, and that has a rank. But it also, if the target has a like camouflage skill, then it cancels out, so they can't look at your stats, they can't follow you around and things. And you've got to be equal or higher on the camouflage skill to block the opponent's stingy eye. It's see, here's a picture of the status screen.
I assume it's not like the letters aren't like S and Super
yes.
S.
Oh yeah,
and...
yeah.
They are.
Okay.
S
is the highest. SS would be
F.
Or Super S or SR if we're going to be.
Yeah, SR.
F through S. Yeah.
L.
But anyway, it's so you have to kind of. I know a lot of shows have these things, but the way that this show is throwing it at you, you just kind of have to get a bit confused and catch up with it at first. And then by episode 3, it was starting to get interesting because we also started getting some cool stuff. Like they started to have a fight. He starts with his first creature he catches is a slime. The second creature he goes after and catches is a undead Black Knight sort of thing. And when he fights that one, it goes into a really interesting CG-esque mode for that fight. It's not terrible, CG. It's standard-esque CG, but it wasn't terrible. Sometimes you look at it like, ugh, but this was pretty good. And the fact they used it for that fight and just the fight, as long as you didn't look at his face when his face ran, it was mostly fine. It did add a bit of dynamicness to it, and I suppose maybe it must say. And I think this is a good way of doing it. So the majority of the show is animated, with stills like that, with just by hand, like what we got here. However they do these days, just normal animation. And then the fight was CG. And I think it's a much better pairing of the two skills. Rather than the whole show CG and you like these characters that are talking to each other with blank, evil, dead-eyed faces like, ugh.
It's probably cheaper to do the fights good. When you don't have to draw off model.
Oh yeah, it also allowed him, so they could bring up earth walls, smash them, flare energy beams. It was quite quick and paced, and it didn't. I imagine it must save time doing that on a computer than with animating it. So that was good. But he is utterly OP, and his S rank thing. So you see the stat page there. Because he's an S rank summoner. I really want to put this there. It's so stupid. He gets the slime who has an equal weak stat page is what you're looking at there with 1s and 2s and things. But he gives plus 100 to all stats to his pets because he's an S rank summoner. So the slime goes from having 1 in each stat to having 101 in each stat. He becomes OP instantaneously. Oh god! And then his slime somehow evolved into something that was described as more powerful than a demon, as powerful as a demon lord, and once ate half a continent. And it's just like, what the frick is going on in this show? But it is a bit weak. It is a bit generic, but it has potential, and I'm gonna see where it goes.
Here comes the chart, by the way.
Chart.
Oh
god!
Second.
You got the chart. Did you freeze frame on the chart? Me and Xeno debated this chart quite heavily.
Forever. Here we go.
As it slowly loads because it's new.
56k modem. Yep.
God, now you to upgrade your internet connection.
So to try and explain the jobs that were.
Oh my goodness!
They provided a chart to kind of. That's not really explained very well. It's 2 lines that go along with this chart, and it comes up. I think it's kind of explain what level of job, what sort of person can do the job. So F is just a person with a stick. E is a person with a stick and a shield. D is a person with a sword and a shield, so they got better gear. C is when you need to have a team of people, so it needs at least 3 people. Oh, it's gone. Yeah, so it builds up and up and up. But it's weird because it gets to S and it's just back to one person who's glowing, and you're like, well, what does that mean?
Yeah. Loz and I debated this.
He's eaten his team and has become a god.
I don't like the fact that they're using letter ranks for literally fucking everything.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my god.
You will find yourself going back and double checking things because someone says things like, "Oh, I couldn't detect him because my analyzing eye is rank C, which means he must have at least a rank C or above camouflage skill." And it's like, what the frick is? I don't have to get spreadsheets out for this.
It's like I'm playing Warframe.
Like I'm playing Eve.
All right, let's. So you've given this nothing special. Let's move on to my next one.
Oh, that's right. It's
Sorry, no, it's my turn. It's yours.
Yeah, it is. So this one is the full title is League of Nations Air Force Aviation Magic Band Luminous Witches, or just Luminous Witches, because fuck that. It's like, oh my god, it's like the title of a light novel.
Probably is. Yeah,
probably. I as such, I'm giving it nothing special. I'll try to make it to 6. It's not terrible. It's just not great. It's a spin-off of Strike Witches, which is essentially girls that wear propellers on their legs and go fight against the not Germans, the magical not Germans, that's about as far as I looked into it. You don't really need to know any of that for this one because it's a sort of a side story. It's these girls that are it's a former frontline witch who has lost her powers because apparently you lose your powers. You start to lose your powers when you hit your early 20s. So, non-England is very, very, well, I guess it is actually England, is very happy to use child soldier witches, as long as they're witches. There is, but, so yeah, one of them is trying to put together this band because she still wants people who no longer have their powers to be able to contribute, and she figures, hey, if we do music, we can bring joy to the people, we can, make the troops feel more inspired, we can do lots of stuff. But
sounds like a nice setup.
It does, but then it quickly devolves into very sort of slice of lifey stuff. Like they're having their tryouts, and then after the tryouts, they cook dinner, and one of the really cold, frigid ones starts to open up a little bit because the food is so good. Oh, it's so amazing! Yeah, I can't believe you made this great food. Everything has so much, well, not everything, but so many of the scenes have this, really, really soft focus, like they've smeared Vaseline over the lens, and I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. It's so awful. Also, the propeller legs, I don't know if they actually have propellers on them, or if they're just magic. If they are real propellers, it looks so dangerous. Like, if they move their legs just wrong, they could clip the propellers into each other, and bam, they're dead. There's a scene...
I don't have seen it, because look, we've got feet, you're covering up the feet there. So.
Yeah, there is one. There's a picture in here. There's a picture in here somewhere where they're looking at the gear. There's a scene where they pick up one of the girls to join their band, and they literally pick her up and take her with them, and her it looks like her ankle. Her feet should be cut off at the ankles or the shins or something. It's just, oof, I don't like that whole aesthetic. Plus, it's like they wear them like thigh highs, so a lot of this feels like waifu bait. I'm sure you've noticed the characters kind of look a little on the generic archetypal side, like the typical girls you'd expect. Let's see. Oh yeah, they're all misfits. The brown skinned girl that was on there just a second ago, that's a girl from New Zealand, and she's very stereotypical. She always wears that outfit. She's never going to change from that skimpy. I live in the southern hemisphere where it's really hot, apparently. I live in the outback. That outfit right there. It's totally standard army issue, I was gonna say something else about her. Oh yeah, so she's really bad at flying because she gets way too energetic. That's how she's a misfit. So everyone has no good reason to join this band except that they fit nowhere else in the army, except the one girl who isn't actually in the army. So they recruit her, and that's really about it. Like. There's some cute little there's a couple of cute little moments where they warm the villagers' hearts, and the really frigid one learns that maybe she can actually do something after all, and they give there's a name drop when one of the kids, so when they're doing the air show for a show for the villagers, they're just practicing essentially, but they also kind of throw an impromptu air show during it, and one of them throws up and her vomit comes out sparkly. And so one of the kids calls them the Luminous Witches. And it's literally a title drop. That's how they get their stupid name.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
What did you rate this?
Nothing special. Nothing special.
Yeah.
Because it's not really offensive. It's just kind of bland. I mean, again, really interesting idea, putting together this band in late stage World War II England, but it's just too slice of lifey, and I just can't get into it.
So you would describe this as kind of mid?
Yeah, very mid. Very, very mid. If you're looking for some waifu... Oh, I think this might actually show the propellers. Yeah. If you're looking
They
for
also
some
have animal ears and tails.
yes,
and
that was the other thing. In order to transform or to use their familiars, they have to merge with them, and the transformation for this. Oh, it cut off before it showed them. The transformation for this is it shows a picture of, or it shows a close up of their face, and the ears pop out, and then it shows a close up of their butt, and the tail either sprouts over the skirt or comes out from under it. And I'm like, you know they know what they're doing here. They're just this is so clearly waifu. Yeah.
Fan service.
But again, not really offensive. It's just you know what you're getting if you watch it.
Troops?
Yes.
Yeah. What are they wearing?
Fuck knows.
British uniforms, apparently.
No, I don't see any Union Jacks. Thank you very much.
This is alternate universe. This is alternate universe Britain.
So it's not British at all.
It's not British at all. Make it more British.
Okay. So
these are like the familiars. These are like the familiars right here.
They're not wearing. Okay, that one's wearing a beret. I proved that. The rest of them.
Oh, come on! He's got the aviator helmet. That's
a Kiwi. Say, why is there a Kiwi? But you know.
Yeah, anyway. that's the Kiwi girl. That's the New Zealand girl.
I guess.
Because what else would a New Zealander have but a fucking Kiwi? Apparently.
A sheep. So should we move on to the
it'd be a
next one?
tiny hobbit.
Tiny hobbit.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so the next one, as Nasuth restarts the timer, is Engage Kiss. This is nothing special.
Oh, there's so much of this season.
It is. So much of this season is just nothing special. And basically, I barely remember the start of the series because it feels like an eternity ago. I think there's an artificial island. There may not be. This may be Japan. They've come up with some new material that's used to produce super energy or some crap like this.
Dolomite.
And they have this is brought upon demons, so people can transform into demons. And there are organizations that auction to try and get the demon to win the. Sorry, this is really bugging the crap out of me that these images are not loading.
Do we want to pause for a little bit and like try to load the season?
I don't want to do that for every. I don't want to do that for every show. We've got a lot of shows to go through. I'm just gonna have to deal with it. The point is, there's a bunch of companies. They are demon hunters, and they put in contractual bids to who's gonna go clear off the demon. Right? So whoever's the lowest bid is the winning bid, and they're the one that's contracted to go kill the demon. It's like, oh yeah, we will need a new building. Let's contract some people to actually make the building for us. I mean, it kind of feels like this little offset here between murdering a monster that's going to kill everyone versus putting up a high-rise. But regardless of that, and don't they also have like I think I vaguely looked at this one. Oh no, I'm thinking of Lycoris Recoil. Never mind. Sorry. Go ahead. Okay. So don't know what Nasuth was going to say, but regardless of this, the main protagonist he is his own company, and he's partnered with this demon girl who we'll see in but a moment. And whenever they kiss, hence the engaged kiss in the title, cue credits, she becomes super powered, and she's able to munch stuff with her sword and all sorts of stuff like this. She also has the ability to phase through walls, but it seems like most of the demons do as well. But there's a price to pay. Whenever she becomes enhanced, he has to sacrifice some of his memories. And that's like the whole gimmick of this. So there's sort of like a love triangle going on between him, the demon girl, and his old love interest, who he can hardly remember, all because of this pact he's made with the demon girl. And
that's actually an interesting twist.
I've seen it before, but
well, yeah, I mean, I was gonna say it also reminds me of the Neverending Story too. But
yeah, fine. But but I've seen this in, I think it was Valvrave. If Xeno remembers that.
What is going on with that timer? That timer is way too fast.
Oh wow, it is. What?
Okay, for everyone's benefit. Oh,
there we go.
Tick, 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 tick. I'm like,
so apparently, if you hit start more than once, it goes faster.
Oh, for the love of God!
That's
Okay,
cool.
so we have no idea how long that was.
Oh, and now it's actually fucked. Now it won't slow down.
Nasuth breaking everything.
Oh yeah, always, every time.
Anyway,
now it's broken in a new way.
It's fine.
Right. So yes, you were saying something about Valrave. Yeah, that it does sound very similar to Valrave.
Well, no, it's an interesting mechanic, and you see what the characters do with it. But the thing I hate about it is that, for the most part, I bet the memories will be random stuff that's like not really important. But then towards the end of the series, they'll have an important fight, and then all of a sudden the memory eating just goes massively faster, just so that we can have this. Oh my God, he's won the battle. But he's lost all his
But at what cost?
At what cost? Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, as I said, nothing special. I'd hope for more, but we haven't seen anything yet.
If that's the only interesting twist to it, yeah, that's not enough.
Right. I have no idea how long that was, so I'm going to move on to Loz. What are you going to have, Loz?
I will. Well, seeing as I said about Black Summer having 2 other shows, I'll go through them. So first we'll have Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Harem and the Harem of a Harem.
Harem.
All right, and where are you going to verdict it?
I will give this an acquired taste. I don't think there's going to be any apart from maybe Made in Abyss. I think it's a must watch this season.
Really?
Acquired taste? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What else are you going to give her?
He's going to give this one
on your list.
Yeah, I thought it's an acquired taste.
No, he's going to give this
it's
one.
It's not a must watch. It's like, I like it.
Oh, okay.
It's not amazing.
Okay, fine. Let's talk about Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World.
Right, so Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World. We have another Isekai here. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone else who is here, we have another Isekai. And in this Isekai, we have this here's the dude. He has a magic sword. Magic sword make him epic. It's really cool. It's one of these shows where you acquire... it's one of these worlds or settings where you acquire either titles or classes by doing things, which is quite an interesting one. And so it's very... I would say this one's very slow. Very slow. But at the same time, it's more interested in building its world and having our protagonist explore the intricacies thereof to get on. But he comes into town, and as soon as he arrives in a town where he wakes up in the barn, he gets attacked by bandits. And he can't just one-shot the bandits. But at the same time, he doesn't test, obviously, but he's very weak as well. He's only level 1, but he's given this uber magic sword. He just literally cuts through people. He does. And so then he gets, he saves the village, and the village gives him some stuff, and he goes to a nearby town to sell off the goods that he's got, the bandits. Like, for instance, the image there, he's got that's a magic thief bandana that he got from the leader of the bandits. You know, it's a rare item. He burns it in the end, so it's just stupid anyway. But it's just kind of give him something to sell. But when he gets to the town and sells the junk, the person he sells the junk to says, "I also sell slaves." I'm like, aha, we're getting some shield here over. And the guy brings forth this anthropomorphized character. It's a character with ears and a tail.
It's a dog girl, isn't it?
It's a dog girl, I think. Yeah. And he says, this dog girl costs... I look at you and I see you might be an adventurer. I have this dog girl I'd like to sell. I can keep her for 5 days, but she'll cost this much. Recently, a labyrinth has appeared near the town, and you could explore that and maybe get your money that way. And it's like, just a really simple setting to get the setting along. We don't know the larger scale. Is this character going to save the world or anything? Nope. He's just in this world, and he's doing things. And he's like,
he's in this world to get animal girls.
I'm a horny anime protagonist. I've been Isekai. I want my dog girl. So he has to try and figure out ways to do it. So he's got 5 days. He first starts by going into Labyrinth.
Can I interject real quick? The slave trader says, like, you could either go into Labyrinth or you could do bounty hunting.
Yes. Right? He describes those are the 2 ways you could probably get the amount of money on the time. He's kind of more pointing towards the Labyrinth as the main way, because the Labyrinth's new, and I think he also wants to kind of get somebody he knows exploring the Labyrinth. This guy on screen here. This is the guy. He's kind of shady, and he's so far he hasn't betrayed our main guy, and he seems, but at the same time, so he seems to have an agenda. I don't know what it is. He sees maybe something in our protagonist, but the protagonist goes to the Labyrinth anyway to start with. He thinks, okay, I'll do it that way. I'll be good. And he starts killing tree people on the first floor. It also does, as I say, it's very slow. He sets up, like, He learns a skill to teleport himself back to the start of the dungeon. He starts realizing that if he uses if his MP gets low, he starts getting really depressed.
That was one of my favorite things. Yeah,
it affects his mental state if he just. But at the same time, he's lucky his magic sword drains HP and MP from his targets, so he can just kill the enemies to get MP back, and it makes him less depressed. So he's always like, why am I being depressed? Oh, I've used up too much MP. It's really good.
Wow, I wish curing depression was that easy.
I know, right? Just get a magic sword and stab things. He tries to do it through dungeon for just on the first floor. He did say he was going to go to the second floor, but he doesn't, and he just ends up killing 3 people on the first floor. And it's just not enough. He'd have to do like 700 hours straight of it to get enough money. So he doesn't have the time. So then he tries to do the other alternative option, which is hunting people with bounties on them. Now this is obviously a lot higher risk, because and it is highlighted to him, like if you go that option, it is risky, because in this world, like if you start killing basically a syndicate's people, the syndicate's going to find out you did it, and then they're going to come to you. They're going to revenge for doing that. Obviously, killing tree people don't care. They're trees. Just kill as many monsters as you want. In the end, though, he realizes he's got to do the killing people, and it's quite slow. He takes time, like going to different areas to find where the bandits are, stealthily following them, assessing them at night, and the whole time I'm sitting here waiting for a twist where he gets captured or whatever. He's very slow and meticulous. And he sneaks in. He convinces the guys, like, yes, he finds the bandits linked to the guys he killed in episode 1 attacking the town. He has that bandit bandana. He says, that person. An intercom about that person. I've got this bandana I'd like to sell. And he gets into the bandit base through that, and he kills one guy, and then he kills other people when they're sleeping. Like, really, he's just like, he uses his magic sword like a meat cleaver, puts it underneath the bed sheets, and just goes like plunk to try and kill people. He gets through a few people. He kills them, and then he needs to steal their left hands to hand in.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Because it's really interesting. The left hand has like your ID card on, sort of. And I think there's going to be a lot to do with that ID card.
Yeah, it's used to really, it's to confirm whether or not that person you have killed is actually a bandit. Because bandits have, no rights or things like that, but villagers and people like that do. So if you just handed, here's a bunch of ID cards. Half of these were villagers. Oh, shit. You've broken the law.
Well, they're things, yeah. And also that you can be, through your card, you can be set as a slave. And then that's it. You'll be a slave forever sort of thing.
Oh, wow.
And so we've only finished up to episode 3, and it's taken up to... This is why I say it's going quite slow. End of episode 3, he's finally got enough money to buy his slave girl. But for the start of episode 2, I think there was a bit of a weird time skip thing, but we won't get into that. We'll see how that comes out, because we don't ignore that. Anyway, it's the end of episode 3, he's finally bought his first girl. I think this show has a lot of potential, and I like how it is kind of going slowly. It doesn't have big overarching things. If you want an isekai that's in some ways quite generic, but at the same time, at least it's not rushing. It's not the character's just like, oh yeah, no, I do this, and then I do this, and then I do this, and I've got all these awesome powers. He's really taking it slow. He's really taking it careful. He's worried about people stealing his magic sword, so he unequips it. He's worried about revealing to, even when he's trying to hand in that he's killed these bandits, he's got their hands. He's trying to hand it in. He doesn't just go dum-de-dum-de-dum, drops them on a desk. There's some bandits, give me some money. He's really careful. It's like, that's the guy I handed in the bandits to earlier. Oh, I'll just try and get into the side. Oh, can you check these? It's very careful, very slow, very meticulous, and it's quite cool. We're gonna see where it's gonna go, though. It's got a lot of potential. We finally got there's your girl. We've finally got the girl. This is the end of episode 3. We'll see where it's gonna go.
Cool. Right. So, shall we move on to Nasuth's next one?
Yeah. Let's do Made in Abyss.
Okay then.
Even though it's clear, I should have saved it for the last because it's clearly the best.
Timer.
Okay, you have to do it.
Timer.
Well, oh yes, of course. So if you've seen the previous material, which is how I'm going to essentially rate this, it is a must-watch. It's a sequel series, and it's not a sequel series you could skip the previous season. Yes, you have to have seen the previous material to understand this. If you haven't, it would be either an acquired taste or pass, which is, I know, a little extreme, skipping over nothing special, but it would be an acquired taste because you'd have to watch the other stuff to get there. Or pass because you don't want to watch the other stuff to get there.
I would say you should make the effort to watch the movies before starting the second season.
Yeah, skip the first season and watch the movies instead, because it's a much better presentation of that story.
Not just that, it's just such a good story. but like I still hate the fucking girl.
Yeah, so I sorry, before I know we can give Nasuth more songs, but yeah, so I would say, because it's an ongoing narrative, it's instantly discussed as a must watch. We can't say, oh, you have to watch this if you didn't watch the other things. It's this. No, it's an ongoing narrative. It's like picking up the Return of the King for Lord of the Rings and trying to understand it without reading the Two Towers or Fellowship of the Ring. It just wouldn't make any sense at all. You'd be like, well, what's the Gondor? You know,
it picks right up where Dawn of the Deep Soul left off, like literally.
Yes, and it is continuing good stuff. So anyway, yes. There you go. Go Nasuth.
Right. So I think I'm gonna have to turn on spoilers for all of this, just because it is a sequel series. So let's get into it. We get to see some actual history of the world, which I thought was amazing. Not much, but we get to see that the people that live on this island around the abyss come from elsewhere, and like it was small bands at first that came there, and we get to follow one of those on their way down and see, like they get to visit some villagers who live around the edge of the abyss, and but they're like weird native people, like they've been there for a long time and they've lost any understanding of any other people, and we get to see them kind of on the same journey that Rico and Reg and everyone took. And then they get to the end, and Xeno and LWBY are like, oh, they're all dead. Everyone in that group is dead.
LWBY is.
No,
LWBY is.
LWBY is.
So
yeah.
Obviously, the Abyss is just as beautiful and just as scary as it has always been.
Yeah, like one of the first things they run into is that giant fuzzy dragon that we saw a bit ago. Yeah,
but I just want to say,
and then everything explodes.
This show has caught me out before. It is not going to beat me again.
Yeah,
you will not make me feel bad feels again, show.
But we get, they eventually make it to like a village, and there's hollows and a weird mechanical dragon who is also a hollow, but he doesn't have a body anymore. He's just smells, I think he said, odors. So he built the body.
Weird things.
Yeah, well, they're all really weird. They it's kind of like the people in this village kind of like worship value almost as a religion. And if you damage somebody else's value or steal it or whatever, it something, like, we don't know what, it's just something. I don't think it's the abyss itself, though.
No, I think it's an entity within the village.
Yeah.
Because the village is contained with some sort of magical sub-pocket which is against the abyss, because it is forcing back the force field. Yeah, that's right. Whatever this almost magical police force of the value is, seems to be contained within the force field, I would expect. Yeah, that's not how the outside the force field works.
But we get to see it firsthand when Menya gets injured, and Rico kind of overreacts, not realizing what's going to happen. And overreact. Overreacts.
I think that was a pretty apt reaction.
Okay, all right. But I think if she'd known,
I thought Menya was dead. It felt like Menya was dead.
I think if she'd known what was going to happen, and once she found out Menya was all right, she probably wouldn't have said,
but they still have to get medical supplies and everything for Menya to
They're still
survive.
Gonna have to look after Menya. Yeah, well, they know.
Yeah,
she's.
Okay. No, I just gotta pop her butt back in. It's fine. Her eyeball was fine.
No, you had to push her eyeball in.
No, they had to push her eyeball back in.
That was her butt.
No. First
the butt.
First she does the eyeball, then she says, "Oh my god, the bone's all spongy," and then does the butt.
I missed the butt. Anyway,
yes, there was the butt, but there was also the eyeball. That's the eyeball.
I missed the eyeball. Anyway. So yeah, in response, like this weird entity, this weird black thing, surrounds the person who did the damage and like takes all their stuff and evaporates it and extracts the value essentially. Yeah, that's
It was, oh god, it was so disturbing because the thing was basically screaming "Mama." It sounded
I saw an image still of when they were taking it out. Apparently, one of the things they took out was a Poliwhirl doll. Really? I'm not kidding. So they're really weird. It's probably not going to turn out too well for them because they're going to fuck up something and they're going to try and steal the value from them.
Of course, it's not going to turn out well.
The thing I thought was really interesting at the very, very, very end was the Shadow Girl shows up, and I'm pretty sure that's the villager that they took with them. But the shadow girl, this little shadow girl, shows up, and she's riding what looks like a really big hulking version of Reg. So I think we're not at the bottom, but I think we're getting to the point where Reg might have come from.
Well, yeah, because Reg was in the mother's notes.
Yes, he's an Obod. He's from the very, very bottom, or near the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
But then
I
we
think...
also saw when in the past the people came down, they met 3 robot-esque people who were like saying welcome. Yes, they said that welcome to like the golden thing, and then they walk over to like an edge to show them it, and then some monster sweeps down and grabs one of them, and they're like, "Oh my god, we've made it down here, but it's still evil."
Yeah, okay, of course it's evil down there. It's
freaking, what is the point?
It's essentially like the underworld. It's like
yeah,
an old sort of Greek underworld where you've got to climb through the different layers to get where you're going.
But if they didn't have the inability to return, I know that humans would just easily conquer this place through attrition.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But because you can't go back out, that's it. It's
yeah. But yeah, I'm really enjoying. Really enjoying this season so far. I think it's gonna be a good one. Probably way better than the first season because things are actually happening.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah. Like I feel more of an attachment to Rico and Reg, but I fucking hated them in the first season. I was like, for fuck's sake, what are you doing this shit? You stupid.
Yeah. Rico's still a little careless, but not as bad now.
Yeah, they've gone through stuff, right?
She did get the runs, so she's not super smart, but this...
No. Regardless of that, you knew the backstory of Vondrud from the third movie, Nanachi and Midi from the series or the second movie.
Second movie,
You got to know stuff about these characters, right? Whereas with Rico and Reg, you've not really had anything to bond with them apart from their actions. And for the first season, their actions are, I'm stupid. I'm going to continue to do stupid things until I continue to be stupid.
Yeah, I mean, seeing, and especially when they're at the stages when, in all honesty, they should turn back and really, they could still turn back and they should turn back. You're screaming at them, what are you doing, you freaking morons?
Yeah.
But then, we're past that point, and luckily they've also, obviously, they've fallen foul of their underpreparedness at times, but they have learned a bit from that, and at least a bit. I still say they're still a bit stupid. Oh look, here's some food with flies flying around it. I'm gonna eat it.
It tastes better than Nanachi's cooking, so it's gotta be fine.
Yeah, that kind of food. I was just thinking about it. Either you shouldn't try it, or you go, okay, well, I'm not sure being a human if I can eat this, so I'll have one little scoop, and that's it, and then stay on normal food. And if it upsets my stomach, because I assume they're going to stay there for at least a little while, then later we'll try it. But no, she just goes, nom 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 nom.
Yeah,
I'm a poison now.
And then she's ill. Right, she's moving on.
But Nanachi was fine because I guess Nanachi's part hollow.
Yeah, now she's invincible.
See, my thought was that maybe they weren't normal flies and maybe it was fine, but no, it's not fine. It's not fine.
No, it's not fine.
Yeah.
Right. Let's move on to the next one, which is Lycoris Recoil.
I think it's Lycoris, or is it LaCroix?
It's that. No, there's a bunch of different pronunciations for this. I went and looked this up. I kind of thought it was supposed to be like licorice, but because when they're pronouncing it in Japanese, it does sound very similar to licorice. But it is supposed to be like Lycoris or Lycoris or what, it's Lycoris or whatever. And it's actually the flower that is used to depict death and things like this. It's the red flower that you see on Demon Slayer, if anyone's watched that or anything like that. So it's a very symbolic flower, but that's apparently the name of the flower. I didn't know this. So
that suddenly gives Deadly Premonition a whole new depth that I didn't know before.
Cool. And this show... Oh, sorry, I need to give it a rating first. Acquired Taste. Sorry, before I go into the whole spiel. Acquired Taste. And it's an interesting show where basically Japan, this is actually Japan, I'm pretty sure, have created a special organization of schoolgirls that are effectively highly trained assassins. So if you are found doing anything wrong, they sort of like just, you know, they'll do away with you and you'll just disappear, right? So it's very much I think it's police state, nanny state. You know, that you're being surveillance. Like there's surveillance like bloody everywhere, and you're spied on. And you know, the idea is that these special agents, these girls, they are very hard to distinguish from the general populace.
Yeah, don't they like work in what seems like a normal
schoolgirl uniform?
No. I mean,
well, they do.
Like a business. Don't they work in a store that seems like a very normal on the outside?
Our protagonists do,
yeah.
Right? But the main
so the
group,
protagonists aren't the assassins.
They kind of are, right?
Okay.
But the whole point is that the whole organization is more like in a Avengers camp kind of style. But one of the characters who will appear in the next screenshot, she's holding up a phone. She ends up getting kicked out and sent to work with the best secret agent that they have, but that secret agent won't work on the main campus. Like, she refuses to, and that secret agent also refuses to kill. Right, so the ammunition she uses is this special like powdered bullets kind of thing. So when they're fired, the bullets are fine, but on impact, they just sort of like evaporate into powder. And the whole idea is that you're stunning. They're non-lethal, right?
Right.
And this character, she's been training really hard to become the best secret agent for the one that gets transferred. This girl here, she's trained really hard to become the best secret agent she can. She is pretty much just second to the main girl, and she's really unhappy. She doesn't know why she's living for this organization until she's taught how to be happy by the main girl, who you'll see in just a moment. They're given different tasks. They're trying to find terrorist organizations that are trying to topple the nanny state that is this new Japan. And yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I'm really enjoying it. The relationship between the characters is good. The hijinks that they get up to is really good. The animation is fantastic. Yeah, I mean, this is one I would say you should go away and watch.
But not a must-watch, just an acquired taste.
Not a must-watch. Not a must-watch. It's an acquired taste.
If you don't if you don't necessarily like the whole schoolgirl assassin genre.
Well, it's not just that, but like it's heavily action oriented.
Oh, really?
It's very it's very like, you know, will they, won't they? The plot is quite shallow, so you know that's why it's an acquired taste. Unlike things like Made in Abyss. Like the world is very shallow. There's very little difference between this Japan and real Japan, whereas Made in Abyss, like there's so much to Made in Abyss.
Oh yeah,
that's what makes that a must watch. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
How close to like slice of life-y? How deep in the slice of life area is it?
Out of the 4 episodes that have come out so far, only 1 episode has had anything to do with slice of life.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And it's like it's a really dumb story, but
but sometimes dumb can be fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice change of pace.
Cool.
Has Loz got any questions?
No.
Cool.
Speaking of Loz,
what do you want, Loz?
I'll take my Isekai life again, a second character class, and became the world's strongest stranger in the world.
I just want to point out, right? So
did he have the weakest crest?
Loz has watched 6 shows this season, 5 of which are Isekai.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. He is talking about 6 shows. You've watched more than that. Yeah. But he's 5 of them are Isekai.
Yep. I was like, what's more shows or so? What's we know that Isekai this season? She was like, Black Summer. I'm like, yep, there we go. So this is Acquired Taste. Bam, there it is. So this is a similar show to one we had a few seasons after, in the fact that it just decides to just get running when it goes to go. We're not wasting time having our character discover skills, whatever, gain some early levels. Our character gets ranked up pretty quick. I don't think we know anything about their previous life. I don't remember if they do. They get isekai'd anyway. And in this new world, they are some sort of monster tamer. And they literally sit up, put their hand down, touch a slime. The slime is now their pet. Right? From there, the slime then leads them to a abandoned little house of clearly some sort of ancient super hermit. And it's full of books. And as long while they're walking up there, the one slime actually turns into a big pile of slimes that have joined the hero. And then all the slimes read separate books. So he learns all the spells in the books in about 2 seconds.
Oh my god!
So, but the thing is, this show wants to get past that, and it wants to move on to our character moving through the world and fighting things, doing things, figuring out what's going on. So unlike the other show, which was the Harem one, which I don't even know if there's a bigger thing going on in that world, what's going on with it. This one is definitely the main character is pivotal to what is going on in the kingdom as a whole. It has been alluded that he is actually a hero that they summoned 30 years earlier, because it takes them 30 years to summon a hero. They have to kind of plan ahead, and if they have a prophecy like, oh god, we're going to get screwed in about 50 years, right, summon a hero now, and the hero will turn up in 30 years kind of thing. Right. So he doesn't know this. He just turned up and he's like, oh, okay, whatever. But I like the show because so he's got slimes. And all the slimes are different little slimes. Some have eye patches, some have like little tassels and things, some have beards, they're all different personalities.
All right.
And it's just fun.
All right. I'm into that.
The key thing about his slimes is also that he can fire his spells through them. So they're almost like
extensions of his body, lenses.
Yeah, I'm like
something.
Expansion drones that he can deploy.
Yeah,
and so he can use spells through them. Now, at the same time, he has to go up and it does escalate quickly. This is some sort of giant uber dragon that just turns up that was prophesied to arrive that he has to deal with. But he seems to be a nice character and he wants to save people. But it's really, so he saves people, but then he doesn't want to get attached. He's clearly, I don't know if he's looking for something or he's focused on moving, because he goes to the Adventure Guild, signs up with the Adventure Guild, does some easy quests, gets given a harder quest to work with a team, which is these 2 girls and a guy. Oh, sorry, you want spoilers now? Let's put some spoilers on.
Spoilers? Very well.
Yeah, spoilers, just in case you... Yeah, and it turns out that the guy is actually going on quests with people and then selling or killing his partners. So he's got like there's 2 girls and he's going to basically sell the girls to slavery. Obviously, guy with slime, he can remote here through slime, so deploy slimes. And just, obviously beats everyone, everything about it. And then that leads into the dragon appearing. That's the dragon. But the nearby Adventure Guild and everything about it, they're going to send an entire army at this dragon, but he just gets up early to go deal with it himself because he knows it's just going to matter. Well, there's no way anyone can deal with it. And then he doesn't want a big show and fair about it. He just moves on. So he clearly wants to go do stuff about it. He wants to. I don't know. That's the key thing. He's clearly important. He's something important to this world, but he just seems to be trudging on, heading to different places, and I don't know where he's going to end up. But so I like that this show. It doesn't focus on the minutiae, it just goes into scenarios and he's moving forward. And he's clearly, obviously, going to be important, whatever. But thus, we're seeing a lot of fights, we're seeing a lot of situations, and we're moving around a lot. So we get to see a lot. We're exploring the world instead of focusing on explaining the world. Yeah, so I'd say it's an acquired taste. If you like your isekais, this is okay. This has got some good stuff to it, and it gets going. It's enjoyable. It's a bit more fun, and yeah, so that's why I say this one's an acquired taste. It doesn't bog down like Black Summer and talk about letters and things or whatever. The guy's powerful. He has to deal with it. The most he has to deal with is that he keeps pushing his MP bar into negative because he keeps overcasting so many spells. And he has to, focus on...
Oh, well, so that's interesting that you can actually have a negative amount.
He goes into massive negatives, and he's like, oh, God. Yeah, so it's interesting to see how he's dealing with that and sort of situation. But at the same time, I do worry that it's not... I do like that in 3 episodes, it gets a lot done, but then, there's this guy with a lantern here, and there's clearly something with these red crystals and these lanterns, because that it contains, a massive pile of demons or something, and he has to trap the crystal and then decurse it, and so it's going to see where this is going. It's at some point it has to start explaining stuff, but it's a fun ride for three episodes so far. So that's why I've put it on acquired taste rather than special. Yep, that's it.
Cool. Should we move on to the next one then, Nasuth?
Yeah, let's go for Shine On, Bakumatsu Bad Boys. This is definitely nothing special, but I am actually enjoying it so far, and it might be something better in the future. We'll see. This is made. You'll notice right away that this has, if any of the images load, that this has a very distinctive visual style, and that's because partly because it's made by Xeno Studios, who did Golden Kamuy and Lapanocho. Lapanocho was from the Star Wars Visions, for anyone in the audience who doesn't remember. Very, very, very heavy on the shonen tropes, which is kind of cool, but, well, I mean, it's kind of cool. I mean, it depends on if you like shonen or not. But, one of the big problems is that it expects you to really be familiar with the era, and maybe people who live in Japan are, that may be a cultural problem. But I was not. I had to go look up what the Bakumatsu period was, who these people were, because they were throwing name. Oh, this is we want you to join the Shinsengumi. Okay, what Shinsengumi? Well, okay, what the fuck is that? So essentially, the setting is, it's the late Tokugawa shogunate, which is it's somewhere in the 1860s. Which is also called the Bakumatsu period for reasons. I think it's these people, but I don't know. Shinsengumi are the peacekeepers / bodyguards to the shogunate in the Kyoto, and they had to be created because the imperial there was an imperial edict that forbade foreign trade, and people were very, very angry about that. But it's once you know that, you don't super have to know that, but anything more than that, because it essentially from there just goes into somewhat generic isekai, or not isekai, shonen stuff, where they're like, oh, we've got to go on a mission, we gotta protect this dude, we gotta fight some people. All the characters are relatively one-dimensional and summed up by just a couple of words. I'm not gonna go through all of them, but I did write them all down. Essentially, like our main character is Ichiban Boshi, and he takes on the name of Isami Kondo. Everyone seems to have tragic backstories so far, including him. His tragic backstory is that his family was killed by a samurai wearing a weird mask, and so he hates all samurai. But they want him to join the Shinsengumi because the old ones were killed by some people, and rather than, be like, oh, they're dead, there's going to be unrest now, they recruit criminals who were sentenced to death and say, look, you got a choice. You can either go die, or you can pretend to be these people that were killed, and go out and work for the shogunate. And so that's kind of where we get into that. And even though our main character hates the samurai, he joins because, in fact, this group is also going after the masked samurai, who are not really good samurai, they're bad samurai. It sounds like a relatively standard plot so far, however... Oh my gosh, did I forget to restart the timer? You did. Okay, good.
Just leave it.
Leave it. I was really worried that I'd been rambling for 9 minutes for some reason. So essentially the plot is that these bad guys are like sucking up souls by killing people. They kill the people and the soul goes into their sword. And the good guys who get the swords of the old Shinsengumi, those swords have also been imbued by the spirits of the people that died, the old good guys that died. And so now, every now and then, they start, literally every episode, it's like, okay, bad guy attacks, good guy has a moment of revelation, and their sword starts glowing, and they kill the bad guy. So, it is very standard in that way so far. It's the first episode, or the second episode is, they've got to, escort this weird scholar guy who's kind of goofy. He's like, oh, I invented sunglasses. Here, you can have them. Weird criminal guy who's escorting me. And then they get attacked by some assassins. And then this guy, right on screen right now with the blue hair, he is a former assassin. So he gets confronted that night when they stop. And he's got to kill the guy who's after him to be like, oh, you can't leave the Assassin's Guild. We're going to kill you. So he's going to kill him first. And his sword glows, and he kills the other guy who is using a purple sword. What are the evil swords? And then the next episode, they go to a onsen or something because they hear rumors that there's somebody planning something against the shogunate. But it turns out to be bad. And then one of them has a moment. The girl has a moment, and her sword glows pink, and she kills the bad guy. And that's it.
Can I ask? Like, so can you remind me what did you rate this?
Nothing special.
You rated this nothing special. So
it's good enough to watch. It's good enough to watch that it's not a pass, but it's very generic so far. And there are too many characters to really focus on any one of them. Like we've had 3 episodes, and we've seen here's this tragic hint of a tragic backstory for this character, and that's it. There's no real like interpersonal development so far or anything.
I wonder if this would be something that would be better to watch like in one go,
once it's out,
like a binge watch, as opposed to watch it piecemeal.
Yeah, probably. I was very interested because it is sort of an alternate history sort of thing. I'm very interested in that historical sort of stuff, but it's just not catching me so far. It's better. At least it's better than Rusted Armors, which was also historical alt history. Yeah.
Cool. Right. Are you ready for me to go to the next one?
Yeah, I'm done. Unless you guys have any questions about this very generic samurai.
No. It sounded very generic.
Very generic samurai.
It sounds very generic, but I love the look of it.
It is very stylish.
Cool.
Yeah, again, Studio Xeno did a really good job. All the characters may be generic, but they're also very identifiable, and they all do each have a quirk and a unique fighting style. Like the orange hair guy fights with guns, green hair guy fights with bombs. The yellow guy fights with a huge brush that he uses like a staff.
Cool.
This is a priest who uses an electrified priest staff somehow. Yeah,
it sounds so cool, and so like
it's very disappointing.
You're just saying it's very disappointingly generic.
Yeah, lots of promise, kind of disappointing in the end.
Cool.
Could pull it out of the water though. We'll see.
So let's move it on to the next one, which is Rent-A-Girlfriend Season 2, right? And I have to give this nothing special.
Ooh.
Right. Now I really enjoyed the first season. Right? And I binge watched the whole first season. I was just hooked. This has been massively disappointing.
That is sad.
So if you want to watch the first season, go ahead, watch the first season, but probably wait to the end of the season to hear the verdict of whether or not you should watch the second season. So let's go into the spoilers.
All right.
So basically the premise is, in the first season, our main protagonist, who will be referred to as Dopey Fuck from now on.
Protagonist man.
No, Dopey Fuck. He had a girlfriend, but after 6 months, she dumped him and started dating someone else, and his heart was broken. And he heard about a service where you could rent a girlfriend. So basically, you rent a girl to go on a date with you, and it's supposed to be this great experience. He does this, and he ends up, kind of falling in love with her. But it turns out that he runs into another rent-a-girlfriend, and she tries to out him, but he does something to make her experience what she is considering true love, and she falls in love with him and actually becomes his girlfriend. So he has an actual girlfriend while still employing the services of this rent-a-girlfriend. At the same time, his ex-girlfriend is giving him a lot of shit, giving him a lot of abuse, and doesn't like the fact that he's quote-unquote moved on. And there's another girl that is barely in it in the first season, where she's a trainee rent-a-girlfriend, and he's been asked to sort of help her gain experience becoming a rent-a-girlfriend and things like this. And the first season ends on a really interesting note. I was begging for more sort of thing. But this season has been utterly disappointing. Where the main fucky dope man, whatever I called him the first time, dopey fuck, he spends 3 episodes with just the love of his life, the rent-a-girlfriend that doesn't have any feelings back, this girl here, and he gives her yet more money so that she can pursue her dreams and shit like this, while at the same time actually having a girlfriend who is genuinely interested in him, but he is not interested in her, yet they are in this relationship. Honestly, it's just like...
So what you're saying is he's a simp.
He is by far the worst definition of a simp, right? And it is dumb because he has an actual girl that likes him, and he actually says to her that I can't believe you actually like me. If I spend any time thinking about it, I'd fall in love with you in a heartbeat. Well, why don't you fucking fall in love with her? Right? Why are you being such a dopey fuck? Just a waste of space and air. Honestly, it's this giant fucking infighting to the point where the actual girlfriend yells to the neighbor who is actually the rent-a-girlfriend, and is like, oh, thank you for letting me stay over, just being a pathetic brat trying to stir shit. And the rent-a-girlfriend, who has thus far shown no interest in dopey fuck, is pressed against her door going oh, I can't believe he let her stay over last night. I'm like, oh, honestly, it's the dumbest fucking shit ever. Seriously, I'm just fucking... So yeah, no, honestly, this is 100% nothing special. In all honesty, I think I'm going to press hold on this. I'm going to come back to this when it comes to the end of the season, and I'll binge watch it for the season final season review thing. If I can even fucking make through the whole thing, but honestly, just don't fucking bother. I honestly want to watch the first season again just to see whether or not I actually enjoyed this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think it's worth watching the first season for people that don't then want to watch the second season?
Well, I really, really liked the first. I remember liking the first season. But I think the thing is that the first season had all the setup to go through. This one is we've completed the setup, so we just need to hit the ground running, which we've got opportunity to do. But they don't. They just go at a fucking snail's pace for 3 fucking episodes.
So they want to maintain the status quo, essentially.
I don't know. I don't fucking know. Anyway, unless Loz has any questions, let's move to his.
No, I've been not paying attention because I don't want that spoiled for me, so I'm not doing this thing. Because I do want to watch the first season, now's the second season. The Xeno saying it's disappointing, so I'm going to watch it all 2 seasons in one.
Fair.
I will go to Overlord.
Oh. Okay.
It's a chess game. I moved chess to F5.
Okay.
And I love that Nasuth is sensibly hovering the key over the sensible
I can't imagine what rating you're going to give this.
I don't need it.
So yeah.
Pass.
Pass. 100% pass.
Now, before anyone starts complaining whatever about it, I'm going to give it a pass for now, based on how we are in these first 3 episodes. That's what we're judging on. I know all 3 of us have watched the Overlord as a dub, and I've watched some of it as well as a sub. I do enjoy the setting, and I do enjoy bits of it. It drives me mad other parts of this story, but I actually do enjoy enough to watch it, and that's why I was the one who volunteered to watch this show. But I am sorry, these first 3 episodes of season 4 are a slap pass. I barely can describe anything that's happened. We have a joke on this show about meetings in gazebos. This show is just standing around talking. It is just
yearns for meetings in gazebos.
We ended the last season with season 3 with an amazing super battle. We took over a kingdom. We have done nothing with that in 3 episodes, or barely anything. We're like, oh, we will do something with nobles and get them on our side so that these people fight these people, and if these people fight these people, and I shall send you all bed. Okay, give me a kiss. You have a kick on the cheek. Oh my god, you kissed me on the cheek. Can I sit in your lap? Yes, you can, because the elf people sat in my lap. Oh my god, and sit in your lap is amazing. Pretentious, edgy character I made when I'm younger. Don't be pretentious and edgy anymore. All right. What else? Then there's a whole episode, the whole third episode. Yeah, this guy, stop being so pretentious and edgy. I know I was a kid and I made you some sort of German character that's like mocking the SS, but please don't do that anymore now that I'm a giant skeleton man.
Oh my god.
And we waste time on the bloody maids, all getting sad because Ainz opens the curtains and they didn't manage to open the curtains before he wanted the curtains opened.
You're kidding.
It's just like, god damn it. No, that happens. That sort of little thing happens with the maids. And especially the fact I've still yet to see Maid that was interesting in season 2, which clearly should be a recurring Maid character, along with not Sean Connery. I don't know where they are. But I haven't even seen Bugman. I haven't seen the elves are in it just to sit on his lap, the little elf twins. I haven't seen Giant Bugman. I haven't seen Vampire Man with glasses. I haven't seen Shaltir Vampire Girl. Haven't seen her. It's just been nothing. It's just so nothing at the moment. And like, there's not even been a fight. 3 episodes, ain't no fight. And the whole third episode is wasted on the Emperor from last season who joined with Ainz Al Ghul to take over the kingdom he's taken over. And you saw how absolutely ridiculous OP he is. And now that Emperor, who even lost his magical advisor to Ainz, because the guy was like, oh my god, you're such a great magician, I want to learn from you. So he went to Ainz's side. So this guy doesn't even have his advisor anymore. Not even like the advisor's clearly on Ainz's side but helping him. No, he's just not. I haven't even seen that character. I don't know if he's dead. Did he die? I don't even know. Don't see him anymore. Anyway, so the Emperor's like, oh, I shall try and conspire with these other outside people to see if we can work together to go on Ainz. Even though it's like, he dropped a dragon in your courtyard, for frick's sake, you ain't gonna win. And it's like, I shall go. There's no point in spoilers. There's this point. It's like, we'll arrange this thing where I go to see the gladiators in the gladiator arena, and this will be a secret meeting, and I'll do it on paper in my little box so people won't see. And it's like, who's fighting today? Oh, well, our best fighter, who's unbeatable, is fighting today. Oh, it must be very hard to find people to fight. Our best fighter who's never been defeated. Yes, it's someone we don't even know who's turned up. It's a mysterious sort of meeting. Oh, look, it's Ainz.
Yes,
and I just jumps in. It's like, hello, Emperor Man and other weird people I've never met before who are strangely priestish. And they're like, oh my god, this is a setup. And he's like, no, it's Ainz. Oh, it's a waste of freaking space right now. Oh god, this is the end of episode 1 where he sort of goes to see the adventure girls. Like, I think people should be more adventurous in my summoner kingdom. And the adventure guy goes, are you really sure? He's like, yes, be more adventurous, adventurers. And that was at the end of episode 1, and nothing has come of that. It just, oh god, this show does nothing.
I think that might be at the beginning of episode 2, actually.
I don't care. It's at the end of episode 1. I'm pretty sure it's the end of episode 1 because the show does nothing.
No, you're right.
I am right. Yeah, and then it's like, oh look, well, what about these other characters? What are they doing? Nothing. Oh god, apart from this one in the mask, is like, oh, Momon, it's so cool. It's like, what? I thought you were some sort of evil secret assassin lady character being sneaky. And it's like, and then they have this it's at the point there is too many characters in too many places. It's going Game of Thronesing. There's too many characters going in too many places. And it doesn't, but unlike Game of Thrones, it doesn't have an hour to waste time on other little bits and pieces so that, you definitely get a little bit of your story at least every other episode. Oh, and then these are the book people, which for Naz's benefit as well. Apparently, one of the guy with they're all like all of an element, and the guy with the books floating is like of the Shadow Cleric or something.
Of course,
and there's some sort of evil council, and this is who the Emperor was trying to get on his side. I think the Shadow Book guy is the guy who turned Shaltir in episode 1 against his life. Yes, they make an allusion to like, when he found that vampire, and he's like, well, he didn't kill it.
Wow, they actually like remembered a plot point.
But it was a mess anyway. It's oh god. And then it's like at one point you see the giant hamster. It's like, the giant hamster hanging out with this Death Knight friend that he was practicing martial arts with. They seem to be best buddies now. I'm like, and then it moves on to nowhere else. It's just, oh my god, the show is just too many places all over the place. It is. Oh no, it's just a moment. It is an utter pass. I'm hoping maybe by the end of the season it'll do something, but it has lost all focus. I don't know what they're trying to do. Are they trying to take over the world?
It had focus. Was it had focus? You're kidding.
Yeah, no. It did. No. The thing is, no, Nasuth. See, what this show does is every subsequent season shows you how the previous season had more of X than it does now. Season 1, for instance, when they're focusing on like Nazarim and it's like all about the base, and it's like, this seems a bit unfocused. Like, no, No. You have no idea how unfocused we'll get by season 3. 3 episodes of just non-focus. So just, that's it. Done. Move on.
You mean season 4?
I don't even know what season we're on anymore.
It says at the top left, season 4.
His brain is melted from it.
Okay, let's move to the next one.
That's you, right? Yeah.
No, it's you.
Is it me?
Yeah,
it is me.
Loz just went.
Okay, I'm actually gonna save Yurei Deco for last. So I'm gonna do Vermeil in gold, which I think Xeno and I are gonna disagree on this, but I'm giving it a pass.
Fuck you!
Yeah, Xeno's gonna like this one, but I couldn't.
No, it's all right. Say it's like an acquired taste.
See, that's what I predicted. Xeno would probably say acquired taste.
Nothing special.
Essentially, you like boobs? We got boobs. We got demon boobs. We got a childhood friend boobs.
What? I was going back to what was distracting me, and I heard boobs. What?
Boobs?
What?
Yeah, we got bland main characters smothered by boobs. We got dragon riders led by boobs. Boobs.
Damn you, 56k modem! I'm back in the 90s trying to look at porn. Sorry,
wait. Dragon riders led by boobs. I don't understand.
Yeah, in the beginning of the 3rd episode, I think it is. I didn't actually watch the 3rd episode all the way through. I couldn't.
Wow.
You get to
Hold on, you stole this from me.
I did, and then I couldn't even watch it.
Oh, God, you're a dick.
No, in the beginning of the 3rd episode, we see the dragons flying overhead. They're like big middle dragons, and one of the leader of them is a woman, so they're led by boobs.
That was the one that they fight at the end of episode 3.
No, that was a man.
No, it wasn't. That was a girl. That was episode 2.
Episode 2. Yeah, I didn't watch episode 3 all the way through.
God.
But no. So he summons this demon, and she's all naked, and she wants to bone him. That's basically, she wants to bone him all through this show. They so many times that she's like, let me just lift up my shirt or my dress and press up against your naked body, your nearly naked body. But everyone, all the girls like him, or at least all the girls we've seen so far.
It happens like twice. Happens like twice.
She wraps around him at the end of the second episode, and basically rubs his crotch and says, we could do things even better to transfer more mana. And yeah, it's just. And the main character is very bland. He's the typical pure-hearted protagonist who doesn't want to do anything to the girls.
You're passing on this.
Yeah.
But generic samurai show, you're like, nothing special.
Yeah. Generic samurai show is at least in an interesting... Okay, all this show has going for it is the interesting setting. It's set in a really kind of cool-looking magic school where, you know, they're second years, and they're well, they started out as first years, but they quickly moved to second years. And you know, they get to learn spells, and they get to do magic, and that's about it. Everything else is just hey, look at the boobs. You want to see some boobs?
Okay, so what about the rest of the plot?
You mean the boobs?
Oh my god.
No, so there is, I mean, I guess there is kind of a plot. She has been, the demon girl has been trapped in this, demon woman has been trapped in this book for a couple hundred years at least. She says she needs his mana to like fix herself up because she's been languishing for so long. But then, like, she can just do crazy stuff without his mana, so I don't really know.
Except for the end of episode 3.
Apparently, yeah. But like, she can also purify his mana and give it back to him. The whole reason he summoned her is because he needed a familiar to pass his test. He couldn't become a second year unless he was able to summon a familiar, and none of the familiars he tried to summon would work. And it turns out that that's because he's the best, and he's got the most amazing mana ever. And so none of the other familiars wanted to be with him because they were afraid. But the demon lady, she can totally handle his super pure mana, and the only way to get it from him is to like kiss him. So, you know, gotta French him to get the mana. Yeah, that's really about it. I wouldn't say there's much more plot than that so far.
This just in, Nasuth hates boobs.
I mean, I'm fine with boobs, but
nope. Nasuth has made his case.
It's when that's all there is boo. I mean, even the childhood friends like, man, I wish I could sleep with you. Hey, I lost this duel. You can make me do anything. Make me do something dirty. I want you to be friends with my demon. Oh. It's so generic.
And yet, he rated the generic samurai show nothing special and not a pass.
Yeah, because at least it's got interesting characters that do interesting things. Even if you don't get to see very much of them, it's not just, let me plop my boobs on you. No, we're in class. Let me pop my boobs on you.
I can't believe you stole this from me just to shit on it. And you hadn't even watched all 3.
It's so... I couldn't. I tried watching the 3rd episode. I got like 10 minutes in and I was like, no, I'm done. I'm out.
I'm going to steal Yurei Deco and say shit. I haven't watched any of it. Right, okay. So let's move on to the next one. Right. So this is RWBY.
Devil's a part-time? Oh, no, RWBY, yeah.
Yeah, RWBY, Ice Queendom. I was a little concerned that this was only going to be 4 episodes long, because the 4th episode is actually called Ice Queendom. And I'm like, oh, thank God. I actually looked it up. It's actually a 12-episode series. I'm going to give this an acquired taste. I think it's very well animated. It's based on the Machinima-ish series by Rooster Teeth. It's it gives them credit and everything.
I can't remember the guy's name.
Monty.
Monty, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, people are saying this would have done Monty proud.
Well, yeah. He passed away quite suddenly, sort of thing. So
yeah.
It's very nice art, very nice stylization. I feel that the performance of the characters feel more grounded in reality, whereas in the Machinima, the characters had very much a lifeless expression in their faces, especially for season 1.
It was early days of that whole CGI style.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
I can't really remember the original, but from what I've experienced with this, I have been enjoying it. I would put this at a must-watch, but there are some pacing issues. There's some world exploration that could be had. So there are stuff that it suffers from the source material. So like the pacing of the 3rd episode is bloody all over the place. But I think it's because they wanted to dedicate a specific episode or multiple episodes to one story. And they needed to cover this ground very quickly. The narrative is basically, for those who don't know the world setting of RWBY, there are monsters in the world, and there's also a material called dust. This dust allows you to perform magic and things like this, and there are different species of humans. So you got your generic human, but you've also got your anthropomorphized characters as well. So like cat girls, monkey boys, what have you. And typically those anthropomorphized characters, they are looked down upon by human society, and as a result, for them to get a hold of dust, they will often steal it. And our team is comprised of 4 characters, our main team, which this girl here is one of them. She is the daughter, one of the daughters of the family that does most of the dust mining and distribution and things like that. And Blake it gets revealed in episode 3, she's actually one of these anthropomorphized characters. She hides it. She has cat ears and she hides it with her ribbon.
That was the girl we saw just a bit ago with like the black hair and everything. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. The animation work for this is incredible. It is really such a selling point for this show. I'm really enjoying it. As I said, the only thing that's off about this is the pacing. It does jump from A to B quite easily, and you just like, wait, what's the narrative for this? So, but yeah, so what's
I'm just looking up the studio. This it? Yeah.
Well,
it's the manga.
So scroll down. Studio Shaft.
Shaft. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So licensed by Crunchyroll. So I imagine Crunchyroll had. But yeah, it's a good series. Like, I am enjoying this, and I would recommend this to people if you're interested in that kind of fantasy stuff, and you're not too hung up on the story being a bit wonky in direction. So yeah, I will.
So you don't remember the original that well, but does this follow the same general story, or is it a different?
This does follow the same general story, but it is getting through it so much faster because these are like full 23-minute, 25-minute odd long episodes,
right?
As opposed to like 3-minute episodes, which is what the original show was. So. And again, one of the things I love about it is the facial expressions.
Oh, yeah.
Which just couldn't exist in the original. This has got facial expressions that are even on par with or better than a lot of what we're even seeing in this season. So the animation is just really top-notch in this. I'm actually really enjoying it.
Again, you're dealing with Shaft. It's hard to go wrong.
Cool. So, unless Loz has any questions?
No.
Cool. Nasuth?
No, I think, again, I know you don't remember the story very well. Is it being relatively true to it, as far as you can tell?
I don't think so. I think they have changed the order of stuff. I think they have, because I don't remember the whole Blake being one of these animal people getting revealed until, I don't remember her getting revealed at all in season 1. I could be wrong, because, we're talking 10 plus years since I watched the Machinima show. But
it doesn't just spit in the face of it either. It's taking elements from the show that already existed at the very least.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I remember in the original, Wise, this girl here, she is a lot more hostile to RWBY in the original. A lot more, unreasonably hostile. Right, very up her own ass. I'm better than everyone. In this, it feels like she has worked for that, whereas in the original, it just came from nowhere.
Okay,
so
super duper purists might have a problem with it, but anyone else probably would enjoy it, maybe possibly even more than the original.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Loz, you ready for your next one?
Yep.
Cool.
I'll take Power World Pharmacy. Which I totally didn't just watch episode 3 of.
Okay.
Because it came out today, so I meant to watch it beforehand, but I forgot, so I watched it now, which is good, because I'm glad I watched it as well, because it's really cool. So, Power World Pharmacy is another Isekai.
Fancy that, yeah.
Yeah, fancy that. It's another Isekai. So, this Isekai, I just want to quickly click. Oh, yeah, no, so I have to keep running, because I supposed to watch it quite recently. Okay, I love that I can actually moan about this Isekai at the start. So it starts with some sort of scientist guy. I think he's sort of working in a hospital. What?
Rating?
Oh, sorry, rating. I'm going to go with Acquired Taste, but that's a very personal one. Yeah, I'm enjoying this. I am enjoying this. So it starts out in our world with a guy, and he's literally writing a paper. And literally, if people watch this and they can have a look through what's doing, I don't know if they've taken that from an existing paper. It is completely accurate what they're writing. Apart from, I get to moan that this guy's a complete noob because he's using antibiotics in his culture flasks when that is just for lazy men.
I remember you raging about that.
I had to do my growth cultures without bloody antibiotics. Freaking pen strep. I wish I could use pen strep, but my boss was like, "Oh no, antibiotics affect the cells, so who knows what effects that could have? You can't use antibiotic tolerance." It's like, "Brah!" So anyway, he's got easy mode. Anyway, yeah, but it must be lifted from a paper because it's bang on exactly straight. But anyway, he is a hardworking guy. A really hardworking, I think he's sort of a scientist working in a hospital. It's a bit weird because, as always, when you get scientists or doctors in these sort of settings in media, they just can do everything, and this guy can just kind of do everything. He's working too hard though, and he literally lies down on his couch to have a break and dies. As far as you can tell, he falls asleep on the couch, and then he's isekai'd into the new world. And it doesn't ever say whether he died or not. I don't know if this is all a dream, but who knows. Anyway, so in the isekai world, he doesn't start as the thing. The kid who he is isekai'd into got hit by lightning, and then all of a sudden he wakes up and he's now in this kid's body, and he can sort of remember. It's not quite declared really. I think he's kind of replaced the person in the body, but he has some memories, sort of pieces of the person he is, but he has kind of replaced that person. And it's interesting. We're in a magical world, but with Victorian medicine at the same time, and it's got a bit of mix between them. So there is magic, and they can use it to cast spells, but I don't think they can really use it to, like, there's no healing spells. It's more like you can summon water, summon ice, that kind of what you can do with it. But he has these marks on his arm, which he just thinks is like, well, that's why I hit by the lightning. But they do glow, and in the world setting, he has been chosen. He is what they believe to be someone chosen by God to be an instrument or an avatar of God almost. His level of magic is utterly ridiculous. I think in one of the background images you see this like weird snake thing. That's like a magic meter that's supposed to like assess how much magic he is, and his just completely shatters it, obviously, the typical trope. But the more interesting thing is he has all of his knowledge as being a scientist man. And he is the son of like the greatest pharmacist or medical practitioner basically in the kingdom. And his dad's kind of strict, but he just wants to help people, and he's looking at this world, and obviously he knows about bacteria, he knows about germ theory, he knows about antibiotics and things, and he's like, well, this is just wrong what they're doing. They're learning that, for instance, this is a scene where his sister has chicken pox, and they're like, oh well, no one can go see the person because if you get chicken pox, it's bad. It's like, no, it's very unlikely. So he makes some medicine to help his sister, so his sister can get a bit better, it leaves her symptoms, and even she picks up, it's like, you're not like you used to be before, but I like you like this. And it moves on. I've just watched episode 3, which is really good because it actually moved into like what's going to happen, and he's going to start affecting this world when his dad is called to treat the empress of the kingdom they're in. And obviously, he knows, our protagonist knows what's going on. He's listening around, and it's like, she's got tuberculosis basically and pneumonia, and they can't do anything. If you don't know tuberculosis, obviously we can treat it now. And thank you, everyone. There's people whinging about the world. We live in an amazing world where we can treat things like tuberculosis. It's
go look at some of those old tuberculosis wards where they had to have like huge open areas. Yeah,
it's horrific stuff, and it's like we live in a world where we can just deal with that
just
stuff.
Cure it.
It's like it's amazing, And in this, it's called the White Death. I think that's what it used to be called. That it's a slow disease. You have it for a long time, and eventually you just drown in your own lungs. So he goes to treat the Empress, and they're saying things like, "Oh well, there's not much we can do." And then the dad walks over to other people, and they're looking at like consulting a star chart. They're like, the stars don't look very good. The main character's like, "Oh god damn it, I'm gonna fix this. Fix the Empress." So he owns up to be like, "Okay, fine, I'll treat the Empress." I was like, "What? You'll treat the Empress?" And then he goes away, and his dad. So the person on the right there is his tutor, his magic tutor, who's kind of told him, "Don't tell everyone that you're this." It's not that he'd get like burned at the stake, but it's that the world would probably not accept what he is. So he has to kind of hide. But yeah, that's the magic meter they test, and he completely destroys
it.
So
she knows what he.
So she learns early on,
that he's not from this world.
No.
Oh,
she's
so she knows that he's a quote unquote avatar of God.
Yes, avatar of God. And at the most is the dad in episode 3 reads through his notebook, and he says that like, is this a revelation you've had from God, kind of thing. They don't know. But the dad also goes, "Are you my son?" He's like, "Well, I think I am." So it's not he's not explaining, "I'm from a different world, and here's how germs work." So he has to be like clever, so he invents like a pocket microscope so we can show people the bacteria in people's spit who've got tuberculosis. And like, I see, you're explaining this. So I like the setting, I like where it's going, I like this, it's nice and slow, it's doing stuff, and obviously the scientist in me loves it.
I was gonna say, I like that he's not saving the world by slaying the demon lord with magic, with power of spells. He's saving the world through science and medicine.
Through science and medicine.
And that's amazing.
He's also got to there's a little bit of like conflict between what he's trying to say and obviously how they've dealt with it in the past. But this how it's interesting. This is how science always happens when a new idea comes forward and everyone like, no, that's not how this is done. And the only treatment they could give for the Empress is just like he sees what he's making is like an anesthetic. And that's never going to treat her. It's like, so that's why he steps in. But it's also, I'm liking the interaction. Again, this is in episode 3. I'm glad I just watched it. Well, I've mainly watched it when Red to Go was not girlfriends, because I don't want that spoiled for me. So that's why I just look over here, this show. I'm liking that, again, we have a good relationship, father to son, because at the end, it's like, oh, well, my son appears to be beyond me now. But he says, like, no, I need to learn from you. Because obviously in his past life, when he was a scientist in our world, he was very focused on work and had no patient interaction. He just didn't interact with people. Very bad people person. And he's realised, he watches how his dad treated the Empress and was looking after a person on the verge of death. And he says to his dad at the end of episode 3, it's like, I still have a lot to learn, to deal with people. Let's learn together. And it's like, it's a really nice father-son bonding moment. You don't get that over here much. I do appreciate when father-son stuff's done, or daughter-son stuff's done well.
So this sounds really similar to...
Daughter-son?
Ascendance of a Bookworm.
Yes, daughter, father. You know what I meant, man. You know what I mean.
Anyway.
Come on, man. The thing. The thing.
So this sounds very similar to Ascendance of a Bookworm. And...
I have to watch that.
The big thing about Ascendance of a Bookworm is it's very slow. So basically, the girl that gets isekai, she is a massive bookworm, but the problem is that she is... Oh, God... She comes to this new world and says, I will learn their language and I'll learn to, I'll read all their books, I'll go into their libraries, and like none of this exists. They're in a setting where libraries don't exist, where pretty much everyone is illiterate, so on and so forth. And she goes to, like, I will craft paper so I can actually, write my own books and things like this. And she spends like the whole of season 1 effectively, crafting various different styles of paper. And to me, it was quite slow. It was something I had to binge watch in order to actually enjoy it.
Isn't Dr. Stone kind of like that too?
Dr. Stone is different, but the problem with Dr. Stone, I watched the first season. And it was like, in order to make this thing over here, like the thing that, our final objective, we have to make a bajillion other things.
Right, yeah.
And they go out of their way to refine the resources, but they don't show anything of, like, the combination or the processing. They don't show any processing whatsoever. At one point in time... they have this one guy in Dr. Stone that's like a spy for them, sort of thing. And he'll be a spy for them if he gets to have like a bottle of Coca-Cola, right? And I was really fucked off to the fact that the guy got his Coca-Cola, but it came out in left field, right?
No, it doesn't.
Does it? I don't remember him...
What, Coca-Cola's not that hard to make, really. It does just, I did that. No, it's not that it comes out of nowhere, but they make most of the steps, and they do mention, can we make Coke now? No, I'm going to use it for this other thing. When he has to get to the point that they can make carbonated water.
Yeah.
And then the guy even turns, does that mean you can make me my Coke now? It's like, no, I need to use the carbonated water for this other stuff. And they focus on the main thing. And then it's like, we're going to proceed with the main thing. And then the guy turns around and kind of goes back into the room, and there's just one bottle of carbonated Coke there. And I'm like, where did that come from? But I mean, apart from that, it is just like heating and mixing a few other chemicals.
Yeah, it's coconut and sugar and
and extraction plants and things. And it's like, so it wouldn't be that hard. But I do what you. It's like, wait, when did he have the time to make that? Like,
exactly.
It's just like you could have seen him like cooking something on the side would have been cool. It just thought, by the way, I made you Coke. It's like, what?
One of the nice things about Ascendance of the Bookworm is that you do see the process, which is great.
Yeah.
Right? So she does things like clay tablets, which falls apart. She does like papyrus. She does all sorts of different methods of trying to create paper. And you actually see the whole process, and it's great. So I'm
going to say you're not going to get that in this show because we've got that magic element, and for him, because he's got this crazy magic power, his left arm can make anything, and his right arm can dematerialize stuff.
Oh,
so he can make,
that's not as much fun anymore.
But the more complex the element, he can't visualize it. He has to make simple things. So if it's like a simple structure of elements, and you do see the element, and he does write it down in notes and things, he has to be able to.
So he can't just like make a syringe full of.
He can just make
vaccine.
He can he couldn't make a vaccine out of the top, no. But he can just make basic chemical compounds by thinking about them. But if it's like a complex one, he has to write it down and like hold it up to help him visualize it, and it like, and his dad comes in and breaks it. It's like, oh god, because he's trying to make a more complex thing to cure the.
But he's not to make the syringe, right? He couldn't just maggot that magic pad up too.
They make a point of that. He says that there are without he can't just make the syringe. He doesn't have the syringe, and they don't even have the technology to make syringes. So he even says like he makes.
So he can only give oral antibiotics.
I forgot one thing. He can, if he does this right with his hand. He has the magic power to like assess any person. He can see their disease and if he can cure it or not. So that's why, because he's magic. He's bloody magic. But at the same time, he does assess. It's like, right, okay, so that I see what the issue is. It's tuberculosis with pneumonia. We don't have injection technology, so I can't use that. I'm gonna have to do an oral route, and then he realizes what, and then he's like, he even considers it. You learn a lot by like, because he even says like, okay, so I've got this disease. I need to not consider drug resistance, so I'm gonna have to use at least 4 antibiotics. You know, things like that. So, and you do see the structures, you do see that sort of stuff. It's just skipping the wasting time on making things. Like in Dr. Stone, they do make the equivalent. They do have to. This is the thing. They do have to cure someone's tuberculosis, and I think it takes them like 3 episodes of like, then we have to make this, and then we have to cook this and do this. And here's the plan. It's like he just skipping that. He needs to make it, and it's just going to focus on. I don't know where it's going to go, but I do like it. It's quite nicely animated. It's We just focus on getting things done.
All right, interesting.
Yep. Let's move on.
Cool. Moving on to Nasuth's next one.
My last one, Yurei Deco. Which I thought was actually going to be pretty bad. I was mildly surprised. It is an acquired taste, and it might turn into a must-watch by the end of the season. I don't know. So this was Science Saru, who did Japan Sinks, which was amazing. If you haven't seen Japan Sinks, really, really good movie. And they also did the Star Wars Visions shorts, Akakiri, which looked great but was terrible, and Toby, which also looked great but was terrible, and Devilman Crybaby apparently. But didn't you say you liked some of the animation was okay, but like the proportions, like the running animations were the worst part?
No, it was just bad.
Just bad in general? Okay.
No, it's like the body proportions, the animation, the lack of shading. Like, I fucking go on for years about how bad Devilman Crybaby. The only redeeming part of Devilman Crybaby was the fucking intro music.
Maybe that was it. Well, anyway, this also has a very distinct, if any of the images will ever load, very distinct visual theme going on. But we live in, so it's set in like this dystopian society, but you don't know it's dystopian at first. Everything just kind of looks, it's all pretty. They live in this cool augmented reality world where, like, you know, they can see, they have a lot. She's got implants in her eyes, or implanted eyes. I'm not actually sure, because they talk about just taking out one of her broken eyes later. But it's mandatory. That's the first hint. It's mandatory that everyone use the augmented reality. If you're not using it, you can get in big trouble.
I worry about that we're gonna start putting chips in people's brains. They're talking about it now. For us in the real world, it's like no. Yeah. I'm a full technology, but no, you're not gonna force me to use your augmented world. You're not gonna stick chips in my brain. Originally I would love the idea, but like I don't trust the world now.
Well, even if you don't get the chips, you have to use glasses in this. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you're not making me wear glasses.
And
I'll wear them when I want to.
The other one is they kind of go into this. They have like this very brief creation myth story at the beginning, and it talks about the 1,000-eyed giant that never sleeps, and then people distrusted the giant, and so it disguised itself as a beautiful peacock, or turned into a beautiful peacock, and so that's essentially this world. There's an AI that watches everything, and but no one sees it, because all they see is the colorful world around them that's augmented by this reality. You get to see one guy who everything's bought with a currency called love, and the way you get love is other people give it to you because you do things like you can get it for social media posts. It's essentially social credit, which is another terrible idea from China. They show one guy who loses all of his love to a scam, and he even loses like his colorful clothing. Like all the colorful clothing just disappears from his body, and he's left with his undergarments, essentially. So everyone has their undergarments, but they have these weird augmented clothes over them that are all pretty and stuff. You can see if this one will load. You can see she's wearing like a pink shirt. Yeah, so that's not real. That shirt is not real.
Right, but it looks real in the augmented reality, but in reality they're all just wearing grey clothing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, not all of them though, because there are ghosts. That people that for some reason or another never got registered with the system. They don't have augmented bodies. They can basically do whatever they want. But no matter what they do, somebody somewhere, a censor, will find that data and delete it as if it never happened. So we've got a character. We're following our main character named Barry, and she runs into this character named Hack, who is one of these ghosts, exists outside of society, and is an amazing, like, super elite hacker. Can just hack people on the fly as she's running through the town. She's the one that scams the guy out of his love. Just lots of cool stuff. But there's also this phantom called Zero, and wherever Zero goes, all the love disappears. And we don't know too much about that, like how it works, but we do, like, our main characters do get drawn into Zero's world, and it seems like we're presented with the idea that they're supposed to run from Zero. Zero's bad. Zero's going to destroy them. I kind of don't think so. If you actually watch the scene, it looks like Zero's holding its hand out, like saying "Stop, come back" or something. I don't know. We'll see. But when there was an incident, when that happens, we get to see that, and then later Barry, who's trying to track down Hack again, gets to see where the censors are deleting all the information, and that sort of sends her down this rabbit hole of meeting with some of the ghosts and finding out some information about Zero. There's like a whole sham trial going on because they capture Hack, and like, I mean, it's really dark. It looks all bright and cheery, but it's honestly really dark, and I'm loving it.
Interesting.
I don't really give anything else, but yeah. Yeah, I'm if you can get, I'm sure people are going to have trouble with the visual style, because it is very, like, none of the characters are very traditional. They're very oddly proportioned in a lot of ways. They're never really on model, they're always kind of moving in weird and interesting ways. But yeah, no, I love it. It's great so far. I was so worried that it was going to be like some weird kids show, and it's really not.
Nah.
Any questions, XenoGelion, anything?
No.
No, I don't think it seems interesting. Like you say, yeah, the art style's the big thing to get over, but I think I might have to give this a go for next time, so we can have a chat about it next time, yeah?
Nice.
Cool.
Right. Time for this
Time for hate.
dumpster fire. I'm gonna fucking flat out give this a pass. I just like Devilman. Fuck no. The Devil is a Part-Timer season 2, which has completely come out of nowhere since the first season was originally released in 2013. For some strange reason, they have managed to maintain a lot of the art style, except for 2 characters, which look wildly different from their original styles, which is the Demon King Mao and Chi-chan, the human companion, which is, you can see her in the background of this image that's maybe loading right now.
The orange-haired girl?
I was going to go with brown, but yes. They are... So they just changed the style, the visual aesthetic. Like, for some strange reason, his hair is fatter and pointier, and his cheeks are chubbier, and like, I honestly don't know why they changed it. But
it's just the style of the time,
Just the well, no, I mean of now.
Yeah,
this is now.
Yeah,
right. Anyway, so the whole premise is after this follows on immediately after the events of the first season, and someone has sent this baby to our world. It's a reverse isekai, and Loz is playing with his microphone.
Sorry.
And
do you care about the show or not? Just keep going, man.
No, I don't. I really fucking don't.
Okay, before you get too far into it, did you like the first season?
I did when it first came out, but the problem is now it doesn't live up to it because there are much better done isekais or reverse isekais and things like that.
Okay.
I mean, for 2013 it was great, but
for 2022, not so much.
No, I watched it again recently for did it deserve a second season? And the answer is no, it doesn't deserve a second season. And
that's right, I remember that now, yeah.
The fact that they're trying to force the narrative so that these characters have to get along because, and this is the major plot point. The Demon Lord Mao and the Holy Knight, Emile. Fuck, I can't remember what her name. What her name is. Like they are the parents of this baby. Right, and it's just like, the fuck? They're trying to force this narrative, and it's gonna be a case in point of something stupid like the baby basically sent herself to the parents, and that's it. That is so obviously what the plot point is. The baby went back in time when she was a full-grown adult and sent herself to the parent. It's dumb. It's honestly, I'm struggling with it. I've watched 2 episodes of this, and I'm like, I'm going to watch the 3rd episode to do the full 3, but honestly, I'm just like...
You can't see if in a 3rd episode saving it?
No, not in the slightest.
Yeah.
Right? So, I don't know if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to hand over to Loz.
No? If you, yeah.
Cool. Right, so let's hand over to Loz's last one, which is
Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting.
Yep. And I will start off. I will give this an acquired taste, and if you are a big fan of slice of life stuff or a little bit different, maybe it would fall into must watch. It's very nice. It is super, super, super wholesome so far, but has potential to bring in some other elements as well. We have a Yakuza guy who is a big time, sort of like the captain of a Yakuza boss. And the Yakuza boss is super traditional, sitting in his super badass Japanese yukata clothing. I don't know, sure. Really cool clothing. He's really cool, and he had a wife, and he had a daughter. But his wife we don't know, but for some reason is now in a coma, and the daughter needs to be taken care of. And for a while, it was, I think, either it's some relative who's been taken care of. She was just on screen. I think maybe an aunt or something, or. Yeah, she was taking care of it. But now the dad wants to be close to the daughter, spend time with her. I think the aunt needs to go back to work or whatever. So the daughter must now live with the Yakuza. Here's the mum who is now in a coma and the little girl. And so the boss can't obviously spend all his time with his little girl. So he puts his best subordinate on the job. This is a guy who punches people for a living.
Hilarity ensues.
The demon of cuteness ensues. Absolute cuteness. And so he has to learn to look after this little girl who is lost and alone, basically, and they both grow together. It's really sweet and cute. For instance, things like obviously the dad can't. The daughter at school has a open day where parents stay, where they come in and watch their parents do things. Obviously, her mum's in a coma and her dad's not going to be able to. As a Yakuza boss, going to be able to go into a school, and so she didn't tell anyone about it. But
what do you do? Oh, murder, drugs,
No, she tried to get her aunt to go. Yeah?
No, she didn't try. She didn't try. She wanted, and she thought for a second, she was listening in, and she thought, maybe she'll be able to, but she wanted her aunt to go, but her aunt doesn't look after her anymore, and there was like, maybe my aunt could do it, because there's a conversation that was alluding to that, but then she still couldn't.
But I thought she asked beforehand, and she couldn't get the day off work.
Maybe yes. Okay, maybe it was like that flashback or something. Yeah. So she did want the aunt to go, but he's like, he can't go, and she didn't want to make a fuss, so she went by herself. And then the Yakuza guy finds it, and he says like, should I go? And the aunt says, yeah, you got to go, just go. And then they bond and get a bit closer. It's basically events like that happen continuously with the pair of them. She obviously helps her grow up and be a bit mature, and he's just being a nice thing. There is sneakily a running theme of some guy who is obsessed with our Yakuza main man, the demon of whatever. This is the guy here, and he is, I think, a obsessed fan of his work of beating people up. And now he's seeing that this Yakuza guy who he's basically idolized is just walking around with a child. He's like, this isn't you. So we're going to see how that plot thread's going to play off. But obviously, yeah, most of it is really wholesome stuff. The third episode has them discovering a cat, about an abandoned cat.
I was going to say, we need to point out cat.
Cat is good. Yeah, well, the only thing about cat though is that anytime you see cat, it has rounded eyes the whole time.
It's got pupils.
Oh.
So basically, it has pupils. Well, cats can have rounded eyes, you know.
Yeah, I know.
It always has rounded eyes. So it's like, oh god, it looks like a. It's just like, give it slit eyes.
Uncanny Valley. Yeah.
Yeah, it
oh,
almost.
Sorry. I mean, is it the iris? They have an iris around the.
Oh yeah, the iris is circular, but the pupil is unless it's wide open because they're looking at something.
Yeah.
So, for instance, they find it in a box. So, obviously, when they first open it and it's been sitting in a dark cardboard box, yes, it should have big, wide, round eyes. But then when it's sitting in their house the whole time, which is quite bright, it should have thin slits for eyes. And the fact they stick it, it breaks the immersion a bit on that cat because it just looks cartoony instead of being like a real cat, which is kind of sad. But it's still really cute. And obviously, she now has to look after it and she wants to do it. And yeah, it's good. It's good. So for instance, a third thing, just it's not really spoilers because it's okay to show. Here's the mum in the coma, and the girl doesn't want to go see her mum in a coma because she just feels like her mum's abandoned or whatever. And the guy has to talk around and say, like, your mum's fighting. She wants to, she'd love to know that you were there. You got to help her, give her support and things. And the little girl learns from it, and she draws a picture, and it's like it's nice to see them growing together. So it's
your
nice.
fighting spirit.
Yeah. It's just a nice sort of thing. At the same time, though, I would say acquired taste because if you want to watch, you've got this little girl and Yakuza and a lot of wholesomeness, you might not want that. So I'm going to go with acquired taste. The Xeno, I think, might give this a must watch, but I'm going to go with that.
I think it's utterly brilliant. Yeah, but
she's got a little stand to stand on.
Oh,
yeah.
Right. Well, unless Nasuth has any questions.
No.
Okay, it's time to move on to my last one, which is Uncle from Another World. So, I have, before I give a rating, I have questions for you. Right?
Okay.
So, are you a gamer?
Yes.
Cool, right. Do you like anime?
Yes.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah, sure, yeah.
Were you around where Sega made games consoles?
Yes.
Yeah?
Do you know how YouTube works?
I
think anyone actually knows how YouTube algorithm works.
I mean, I guess I know the basics of it. Sure.
Okay, wait, do you know the basics of YouTube?
Yeah, you upload videos and people look at them.
Okay. Then I will say this is a must-watch.
What the fuck?
Right? So this series is hilarious because it's the other end. It is the anti-Isekai, right? Not a reverse Isekai, an anti-Isekai, where this uncle wakes up from a coma after being in another world for 17 years. Right?
Oh my god!
The nephew doesn't believe him at all. And then the uncle starts performing magic in the real world. Magic he has learned from being in another world, right?
Oh
and there's different rules. You have to, it's like, to have them work in the real world, you have to talk, speak them aloud in Japanese, right? In a real world language, not in the Isekai language. And stuff like this. And he's got no job opportunities. Like, he can't get a job easily because he's been in fucking coma for the last 17 years. Like, he didn't finish high school. So he becomes a YouTuber while using magic as special effects videos.
Oh,
and people don't take it seriously. They're like, oh, that's some like dodgy VFX and shit like this, right? One of the best things, and this is a real life event, right? They reference the change in YouTube's policy from 2018, in January 2018, when if you don't have 1,000 subscribers or 4,000 minutes watched, right? Yeah. you will no longer be paid. You're no longer monetizable. They actually make reference to this, and they have to actually do something to change their state so they can actually still get money and things like this.
Wow. So wait, when is this set?
Monday. Oh, sorry, no. It must be like 2018, right?
Yeah.
Because it happens in real time. But it's
interesting. Okay.
It's hilarious because like everyone's got smartphones, and he's like, oh, I want either a flip phone, like a clamshell, or a a phone that rotates. Like, so I think some of the Sony, like some of the Sony Ericsson, So some of the Sony Ericsson mobile phones would actually rotate. You could flip the screen, And he's like, I want one of these, and it's like, because they're really cool and shit like this. But the best thing, right, is when he comes out of a coma, he's talking to his nephew. He's like, oh, so who's winning the current console war? Is it Sega? It's Sega, right? And it's like, it's Sony and Nintendo.
Microsoft,
it's like, but what? But no, fuck, no. Microsoft.
Oh yeah, they don't have Microsoft
in
Japan. Yeah.
No, they do, but it's just like non-existent because no one wants an Xbox. Anyway, so like but what about Sega? It's like Sega stopped producing consoles like
they just make games now.
Years ago, and then, like the what's it called? The uncle just like loses all will to live. And what's it called? So he could cast all sorts of magic and stuff. He talks about his time in the other world. And because he's like so ugly, everyone thought he was an orc, right? And he gets like chased out of towns
in the other world.
In the other world, yeah.
Right.
And he's got this tsundere character on screen, right? This elf who's constantly berating him. Honestly, it's really fucking funny.
So we've got basically him returning to the world, which is like beyond the Isekai. What happens when the show finishes? He returns to the world, but also we have flashbacks into the world of the 20 years.
He actually brings up like a viewable area, so like everyone's like, oh, it's a hologram. No, it's not a hologram. It's fucking magic, right? it's just like, so people like, he shows people his memories and things like this, how he sees it, and oh god, it's brilliant.
How much of it is like what's the split between them doing regular stuff and them either flashing back to or showing off the Isekai
I'd probably
world?
say like 75% regular stuff, 25% Isekai world.
That's pretty good, yeah.
But it's again like character. So it's at the end of the second episode, we get this female character on the left. He has actually polymorphed himself into the elf girl on the right, and it's like, I am the nephew's auntie. You can tell me anything. It's like has exactly the same mannerisms as the uncle. And when the nephew comes home, it's like, uncle, is that you? It's like, no, I'm your auntie. You remember me. And it's like, uncle, I think you should change back. Nope, I don't know what you're talking about, magic. Hey, do you want to make a YouTube video about some obscure Sega video games? Oh, I'd love to. Let's do that. Honestly, it's really fun. And the intro alone, right? It takes a lot of it makes a massive homage to a lot of the Sega stuff from yesteryear. It's brilliant.
Is there any mention of Segata Sanshiro?
I have no bloody idea.
You don't know Segata Sanshiro?
I was just thinking that, Nasuth.
God. Okay, we're gonna watch that along with the other thing.
But yeah, it's brilliant, and yeah, it's hijinks ensue. I honestly, you should. Everyone should watch it. It's just so fucking. I will say, people have criticized the animation quality, but I mean, like, the humor in it is just, you just look past it. The humor's just too good.
Yeah, cool. comedy shows don't need like super high budget animation, and I mean, it's nice, but it's not necessary.
Yeah, unless it's Konosuba, and then it just needs all the fan service.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah.
Right, cool. So I think that is it for our...
We did it. We did
summary.
it, guys.
We
Somehow.
did it. So, yep. So time for the supporter questions, I suppose. Cool.
Yeah.
Right, so supporter questions. Could you do me a favor? Could you refresh that? We'll get there in a second. Please bear with, user.
Is that... No. I assume
Oh, yeah.
Thaylien added something.
Yep. Did you actually hit the refresh button?
Thought I did.
I don't think you did.
Did you save it?
This is where I actually checked. No, I did save it. Well, I'm going to read the supporter questions from here then.
All right.
Zrugal says, before we start the supporter questions, I just want to say thank you, everyone, for listening to our podcast so far. Please leave us a like and comment in the comment section for us. I promise we read all of them. Unless you don't want to do... Sorry, unless... Oh, god damn it, it's not freaking wrapping it. Unless you don't want to comment, in which case, please tell us.
Please tell us why. Yeah. Why don't you want to comment?
Yeah. Alright.
Yeah. Please tell us if there's anything more we could do to help you comment.
Yep. Comments do go very far. I did actually chase people for like, tell us your scores. Tell us your scores for last week's episode. You know, but anyway.
Oh, wow.
Well, you broke it. Nasuth broke it. Anyway, so Zrugal also says, do any of you use the Webtoons app or something similar to read manga on your phone?
I couldn't read manga on my phone if I tried. The text would be way too small for me. Either that or I'd need a giant phone.
I go to... Let me get the website. Where do I go? I probably should do something like an app or something official instead of saying that I support the users. I read manga NATO. Yeah, .com. That's what I use.
I typically get the Kindle versions of manga from Amazon, which are about half the price of the physical versions, and I read them via Comixology.
Xeno's turned into a robot for us. The audio will be fine for everyone else, but that's only for us.
I don't know why, because it looks fine to me. Like, I'm looking at my bandwidth and nothing's changed.
Oh, you're back.
Well, I'm looking at my bandwidth. Nothing's changed, so I don't know why it freaked the fuck out. I blame Discord.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I was just saying, like, I typically buy stuff via Amazon on Kindle, and then I read it using the Comixology app, which is like really good. Or I use CD Display. Oh, was that a C Display Comics? Oh, I can't remember what the damn thing is. Oh, CBZ Display. I can't remember what the damn app's called. So yeah. But I'll be honest, I don't get to read a lot of manga because
takes time.
I'm just always busy doing stuff. Okay, so moving on. Nasuth says, when you see that an anime you like has been given an English dub, do you rewatch it for whatever reason?
For whatever reason, whether it's because you like it or because you want to see the differences or any criteria you might use. What reason do you rewatch it?
I mean, that would have been better if it said that.
Shush!
Right, okay.
I don't need your noise. I don't need you telling me how to use the English language. Thank you very much.
For me, it depends. Because... You know what? I started rewatching Komi Can't Communicate in the English dub while I've been working. And I had to stop because the voice actor that they got for one of the characters was just so goddamn out of place I couldn't continue.
I guess it's Najimi.
I don't want to say. Right.
I better know who it was now.
The next question is, what do you call a storm full of anime girls? A waifoon. Fucking Christ. That's actually good, but at the same time, I hate you.
That's when you know a pun is hit right.
Oh my god. Right, okay, so next, Thaylien says, if you were able to see a string of YouTube videos of a man performing actual magic, how likely are you to think it's a guy from his Isekai adventures?
Yeah, I think I got most of that. Plus, I can read the question. If it's actual magic, I mean that's hard to tell though because.
I just assume it's VFX.
Yeah, there's some really amazing magicians on YouTube that do amazing things with VFX.
I mean, oh god, Zach King.
I think that's who I'm thinking of too.
Does amazing stuff, and it's just all special effects.
Yeah. I mean, some of it's perspective tricks, but most of it's special effects. Yeah. Actually,
do you remember Avenue 5? Where the guys were going up the airlock. I was like, no, that's special effects. I've worked on videos before.
Oh my god. Yep.
I've watched Corridor Digital. That's special effects.
Yep.
Right. You can see it's animated on twos. Anyway, and then Thaylien also says, you can take one item with you to an alternative world that is stuck in the feudal era because of magic. Your intent is to technologically revolutionize their world for the better. What item do you take? See, this is the problem. It depends on
you don't want to start too complex. You can't. I mean, if you take an iPhone, you're fucked. Because there's no way they're going to be able to reverse engineer that.
No, but here's the thing, though, right? If you take something like they did in No Game, No Life, they had a tablet, right? Which had, like, God knows how many books on it. And then...
Yeah, but what if it runs out of power, you know? You don't have an electric source.
That's the problem. Yeah, but if you have the ability to generate an electric... you can make an electric source with a fucking potato, right? But, you know... Do you want me to quickly restart LWBY?
It's fine, just don't expect replies while I'm doing that. I'm trying to let you know because I can't tell from...
No, I can see you guys stop moving as well, but like I honestly don't know what the fuck's doing it. Like, because I'm looking at my internet and my internet's fine.
Keep going, man. Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
But what about you?
I would probably either take a steam engine or a internal combustion engine.
An internal combustion engine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where the fuck are you gonna get the fuel?
Well, coal.
Yeah, coal. You could also use biofuel.
So you're gonna go for the black lung?
Yeah.
Get a healthy dose of that black lung.
Oh yeah. We're gonna ruin that world. We're gonna push their carbon levels up to total skyrocketing greenhouse levels. Yep. Just ruin it. Oof. Strip it bare.
I have no idea how you would make biofuel.
But you get crops.
Yeah.
And
you get the oil out.
Yeah. It's just like producing vegetable oil.
Yeah.
I don't think vegetable oil would work in a combustion engine.
Well, okay. I don't know if it was a diesel engine. You could have a diesel internal combustion engine.
Anyway, random shenanigans. Let's move on to the comments.
It is a really tricky thing to have. I put some more thought to it. I could think because you want something which is a technological advancement that you could show that would push the theory forward, so that they could then replicate. That's what you could gain the most ground with. Like, I would probably say a microscope.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
With a microscope, I can prove germ theory. I can start showing things to do with basic elements, start pushing, push past a lot of stuff because of that, and expand them beyond that. Things just, I mean, it's really hard to let people know. How do you think? Where do you think in the past they thought mold came from?
Oh, it's probably spontaneous generation.
Spontaneous generation. They just thought it just
same thing with maggots. Maggots just come from meat, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one. Maggots. Yeah, it's like where maggots come from, because it doesn't make sense. Well, there's a fly, and then where the spontaneous generated out of meat. Honestly, spontaneous generation was a thing.
Yeah,
and then things like how do things breathe? It's really tricky. But if you can prove there are things smaller, even at one level, because obviously it goes all the way, you can't see. But if you can prove there are things that are smaller than you can see that exist, and that you can affect, interact with them, and they cause this, that, or the other, you could push a lot forward from that. And also, a microscope would allow you to, talk about lenses and show.
Then you get telescopes and
yep. Which you then could do sky and space as well. So microscope.
That's actually a really good one. Yeah. But I mean, steam engine also gives you electricity, and
But you could make a steam engine pretty quickly.
Where are you gonna get the copper from?
No, so you use a steam engine to rotate a coil and.
No, so just let you know.
No, where are you gonna get the fucking copper from?
Copper's easy to get.
No. Okay, you get the steam engine. Fine, the steam engine can produce electricity or whatever. But the point is, how are you going to put that steam anywhere? It's like that electricity anywhere else.
Sorry, Xeno, we can't keep an explanation for you. It's just cutting out all the time. But we'll debate off screen. So yeah, I would go something with a microscope. It depends on what age you're in. If there's copper, and just to let you know, the Greeks actually invented the steam engine, but they
the Antikythera. Yeah.
Yeah. No. The Hero engine. What's it?
Is it not the Antikythera?
Illyrifield. The Antikythera mechanism.
Oh, you're right. Yes, you're right. Yeah. Sorry.
They don't even know who built the Antikythera mechanism. It's just insane. But no, the Illyrifield.
Yeah.
I can never say that word. Or Hero engine. And it literally, they were like, oh, look, it's a metal sphere, and then you have a pipe on both ends that go out, and then they go 90 degrees. So one's going that way, one's going like that, and then they put
it just kind of spins around,
and they heat it up, and look, it spins. Isn't that fun? Oh, let's watch it. And all they did is they watched it. They went, it spins. Clever. It's like, yeah, but you could just attach something to the spinning, and you have an engine.
Yeah. Oh, I think he's rejoining.
I mean, it's shocking that they were so to have it in front. And it was like that is a steam engine. That is the most fundamental, basic steam engine done.
Yep.
And they just had to take that concept and expand upon it, and they didn't. They just thought it was just a neat novelty. It's the
could
same
have had a technological evolution 1,000 years or 2,000 years ago.
They could have, yeah. In fact, their civilization might not have collapsed because it allowed so much.
Oh yeah, God. Yeah. Think of the war stuff they could have done.
Yeah, well, also distance is the biggest factor. Being able to control
that too. Yeah.
Yep. That would break him.
Hopefully everything will have settled down now.
Fingers crossed. You do sound better.
Okay. I just had to restart Discord because you guys started breaking up horrifically for me. So do you want to just move straight into the comments, or shall I make my comment about copper? Okay, fine.
Oh, okay. If you want to do anything about copper, go for it.
No. I was just like, the importance of the copper wire and things like that, being able to transport the electricity from the steam engine. Like, how are you going to move it? You'll need to actually have insulators. You'll need to be able to refine the copper.
I mean, you don't need insulators at first. Just to prove the theory, you don't need it at first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just don't touch the bare wires.
Here's steam engine, right? And you're gonna power what?
Spin a magnet.
Yeah.
Spin a magnet.
Yeah.
Yep. Make a dynamo.
This fucking steam engine is a dynamo.
No.
Yes.
I mean, you could use the steam engine to turn a dynamo. That's how you would generate the electricity. It's all, yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
The steam engine isn't the dynamo. The dynamo is the bit that generates electricity, or is a
component of it.
Yeah. So you then strap a magnet, which would be called.
It's a steam-powered dynamo.
In most tiers, by the way, lodestone. If you truck it stuck in the past, you could then get some lodestones, and obviously, when you have one lodestone, you can make another lodestone. You know how to make them. If you have one lodestone or a magnetic rock, you get another one. You can make it better by continuously moving across. That makes you have a better magnet. Then once you get your better magnet, you stick it onto your steam engine. Then you just have to make some copper wires. Bam! I've got my basic circuit.
Yep. And then I'm
not going to power it.
I don't even necessarily need to power anything.
But I can show that a filament that can produce light from it.
Could do that.
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking an electromagnet. Yeah. Electromagnet would probably be the easiest thing. That's the thing though. The filament with look, it's producing light. That's not as easy as you would think it would.
No. Because obviously, you could. No, showing it is easy. Like making something goes, oh look, it burns up and it produces light by doing it. But then sustaining it in that state with inert gases. Yeah.
You need like some iron or copper to make a nice heating element.
And to get them to that point, and then allow them to move
Oh,
forward
yeah.
would be,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
massive jump.
yeah.
I think an electromagnet would be potentially the easiest because you just need an iron core with a copper wire wrapped around it.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was going for. Yeah.
Let's move on to the comments. So, Nick Evans.
Magnets. How do they work?
I don't want to talk to a scientist.
Anyway, right, so comments. Nick Evans says, who, by the way, scored 72 out of 85 on the quiz. I find it legitimately disturbing that I just knew all of the extra hard round protagonists. There's something to be said about me.
Indeed there is, Nick Evans. Indeed there is. And it's not good.
I can't remember half of them. They're so boring. Anyway. Trex Paddock says, is there a home version of this game?
If
I mean,
only.
that could be something we could do. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's loads of different websites that you can use to make these sorts of quizzes. Plus,
you have to print them out, and the person giving the questions has to wear it as a face mask.
And also, T-Rex Paddock says, Mecha Game Show, transformable versus non-transformable.
There you go, Loz. You were looking for one.
I will play with that.
And Drew also says, I can just say I appreciate the epic and silly thumbnail, but I was half expecting Nasuth to have the model. Lol.
Yeah, so I was dressed up as a samurai pizza cat, and that would be awesome. But I don't know how much I would have to pay King for that, because that's going to be a complicated one.
Lol. Right, so it's time to move on to the memes. Sweet, sweet, delicious memes.
Sweet, delicious memes.
Right. So, Nasuth, your first meme.
The boss is when you fight them, and when you unlock them as a playable character.
Yep.
Always a good meme.
Yep, true.
Japanese draws a cute girl. World, hey, she's cute. Japanese, it's a man. World, wait, what? Japan, congrats, you're gay now, bye! World, we've been tricked, we've been bamboozled, we've been quite possibly... Oh, wait, sorry. We've been tricked, we've been backstabbed, and we've been quite possibly bamboozled.
Fair.
Yeah, that's apparently Astolfo in a nutshell.
Yeah, I'll Staffel. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Don't even need to say anything.
No. That's not yours. That's...
Uh-oh, did we both get these? Did we both get this one?
Maybe.
Uh-oh. Who do you think your best waifu is? Aria Speedwagon from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
We did.
Well, crap. We both got the same meme. Great minds think alike.
It's been a while that it took to get to that point that we both got got the same meme.
Well, usually I try to get them. Usually I try to get them like midway through the week, so that like
And Nasuth didn't actually check the ones that I'd actually put on the list.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Vegeta and the Crystal Skull
in Windows Explorer set to like small images.
Well,
to see if any of them line up.
We've got a dog. No, I could have looked at the letters, but I didn't. I was in a hurry.
Because he forgot to do it.
I did. Corbett needs you to find the difference between these two pictures. They're the same picture.
What?
It's Vegeta and a Crystal Skull.
Oh, right.
What is the shape of Vegeta's head?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Oh, Loz, did you actually see that video that I linked you about the origin of this?
No.
Oh, of this meme?
I sent you... Yes.
Oh, yeah, that. Yes, the actual version of the... Yeah, where the meme comes from.
Yeah, that's actually like... It's not what people think, and yet it's also...
Yeah, it's not...
Yeah.
It also still works. It's like, it's fine.
My taste in manga versus my taste in anime.
What the...
These are all very wholesome, I'm sorry, I think I got this backwards. These are the anime. Yeah, I got this backwards, damn it.
Yeah.
This is my taste in anime, all wholesome shows. Taste in manga, nice, horrific. Just nasty, just horrific stuff. But I had to do it because it's Bruce Campbell.
Okay, so I recognize K-On! As a Manga Dio and Orimo 2. I have no idea what any of the bottom three are, and I have no idea what any of those manga are either.
I'm pretty sure at least one of them is Junji Ito.
Probably.
I think
Okay, fair enough
this
then.
one, but I'm not sure. Yeah.
Alright, so moving on to my first meme. Alien invasion in the US. Alien invasion in Japan. I used my warp device on my ship and I accidentally teleported into your bathtub.
So now suspend it. Also, that's the point at which he sticks his hands on her boobs, and that's
Lovely.
promise to marry someone.
You like boobs? We got boobs.
Well, apparently you don't like boobs. Sorry, moving on. So, second move. Press any button to continue. Me. Press his power button. Game.
Game's not impressed.
Not amused. My third meme.
Yep. That one's just so good.
Oh,
I mean,
goddamn meme.
it's so good.
Loz, do you understand who Speedwagon is?
Yeah. No, it's
Okay.
from season 1 of JoJo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seedwagon, best waifu. Yeah, I get it. I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
My fourth meme.
I think Speedwagon is probably the only character I can probably name from that show. You know, and there's a Dio and a JoJo.
I finally overcome my foot fetish. Congratulations! That's no easy feat. Listen here, you little shit.
Oh, I appreciate a good pun.
Do you not get it?
I appreciate a good pun.
Okay.
Is there a secondary joke in there?
It's no easy
Oh, it's
feet.
no easy
foot,
feet.
Foot fetish,
Yeah,
feet,
yeah.
Oh my
yes.
god, yes.
Right.
There you go,
I'll defeat you with the power of friendship. And this gun I found.
yeah. This gun I found.
Oh, I could not not use this. Right, and then my last final. What was your first anime? Full
is
Metal
that-
Alchemist.
Yeah.
That's high school double D.
Yeah. Oh, you monster. You monster.
Yep, could not hold back on that one. Had to be done. Right, but if you want to check out more memes, you can go to the links in the Twitter. They'll surely link you to various in the description below. Sorry, links in the description below, which will give you links to all of these memes and the various different Reddit boards that we stole them from. got them from, and
100% homegrown
you can
memes.
also get other memes from Twitter at twitter.com/Kanpai_cast. And yeah, so cool. We upload multiple a day. So next week we have iconic anime movies with Raum Dellamorte. However, Loz will not be joining us for next week. He
Alas.
is indisposed.
It's my birthday. I'm going to spend time with my family.
I mean, well, technically this comes out the day before your birthday.
Yeah,
So-
but birthday weekend, whatever.
Wish Laws a happy birthday in the comments.
Yeah, do
Yay.
it. Do it.
I bet you won't.
And then, yeah, so time to say thank you all for watching / listening. And now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai!
Yeah.
Nasuth, why do you hate boobs?